think I'm live. Am I live? Is this real? Is this really real? Am I here? I guess I need to leave the Tasmota stuff up because I didn't finish flashing all of these light bulbs. What I'd like to do today, though, is try to send a signal to this guy right here. Wait, why is this warm? Oh, that's the mouse I was touching. It's like, why is that warm? I think the light's off. These aren't particularly good at marking which end is on. I think that's on, actually. So maybe the light's on. It's just been in standby. It has a little bit of heat at the base. All right, we need to clean up the desk a little bit because, hey, what's up, Svar? Need to clean up the desk a little bit. I got the CR scan, Jiminy John, right here. And one thing that it needs is space. So this is all got to get cleaned up, even though I haven't finished with these yet. Although we can, I don't know, maybe I can work on this a little bit. I need a bin for this, actually. What am I going to put them in? Actually, here's a box. Here's a random box. I'll use this to hold all this stuff. Hopefully it fits. We'll keep this with it for now. Although the programmer is supposed to go in the programmer drawer. That's tidy. That works nicely enough. Kind of warm in here. I don't know why it's so hot in this shop right now. I've got it all closed up. I cracked a window just now, though, so I guess all my heat's gonna bleed out eventually, and I'll be cold. Repeat the cycle. Might need the Z-axis. I'm not sure. Made some progress with programming embedded C. Yeah, I live in embedded C. That's where I normally interact with the real world, is through a form of, you know, the whole Arduino. Arduino isn't C++, and it's not C. It's like C++. But that's where I live. Welcome to my world. Cracking a window in this economy? Yeah, I know, right? I didn't speak up because they came for the windows and I wasn't a window. All right, let's see here. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. So you have some room to work and maybe not think about things for a little bit. I've been in kind of a pretty bad mental state the past couple days. So work will set us free. Maybe. Why is there a hammer? Ooh, chat is like behind 3 windows. Hold on. Are you doing Arduino? I'm programming in Zephyr. I've never worked with Zephyr at all. I have not heard of that. Because I live under a mayonnaise jar. I've been doing a lot of Arduino stuff just in perpetuity. That's just kind of what I do. So, what's up, Mahalo? How you doing? Yeah, it's the embedded C Arduino flavor is really where I do a lot of work. We got to get back to that soon too. We're going to do a little bit of programming for the fart box. I got to get that back up and running. I've eroded all of your interactivity layer stuff, chat. You guys don't get to interact with the stream anymore. And I know some of y'all are saving up these channel points. You got 1 billion of them now. Who's that emote? It's like a little golden guy. Who's that right there? Oh, it's a golden kappa. Aren't those like super special or something? I have so many fart points. Please bother. I have to see a doctor about it soon. You have to have mercy on us. They're pay to win. No. You guys earn them by watching the stream. Nope, they're not pay to win. I'd feel so bad if I connected a fart box to something that is associated with a monetary transaction. You hear and you go, oh, that's $1. Oh, the golden kappa is pay to win. Yeah, what is up with that? Didn't it used to be like a Better TV thing? Wasn't it BTTV had the golden kappa? If you were, oh no, it's the golden username, I thought. If you were like a BTT certain tier subscriber before, like back in the Justin TV days or something. I don't know, there's some kind of lore like that. Where did I put the light bulbs? Oh, they're over here. I need to put the programming cable with them because I still have work to do for those. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, here we are. We're doing this stuff. We're doing something that's decidedly not audio and also not a bunch of other stuff that I need to be doing. We're doing something completely different today because I need a breather. I need a breather. And I figure this will be pretty interesting stuff. If this computer will run it, if not, we'll pivot and do something else. There's always that possibility that my computer pukes at the sight of whatever the hell we're doing today. Why does this not fit anymore? That's supposed to go there. Slowly but surely, we're going to gain back all of our space here. Where's you going? This will go somewhere in the background. These have kind of taken over. I got a bunch of test equipment from my buddy. Met up with a friend of mine, the same guy who gets me to go out to all those free cycle things, and a lot of the really kitsch kind of engineering cool stuff that we have around here is thanks to his contributions. He's a really good friend and also a like-minded engineering individual. But anyway, so I met up with him, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, I still have all of this test equipment from Drexel." And so, Drexel University, where we both attended. And apparently, I now have these 2 rack mount giant pieces of test gear that's like multiple Tektronix things inside of this 2 big rack mount things. They smell like a shed. They smell really awful. It's like a real kind of particular like grandpa smell that they have. But we'll check them out. Maybe we'll check them out tomorrow. I don't know. It depends on what I feel like doing. And then in the I do miss Burn the Subs. Look, it's a little bit of a sour point for me, Burn the Subs, because people keep bringing it up. It's like, bro, we'll get it back. I'm sorry. It's just, where's your Burn the Subs? You build one. Mothballs and mildew. Not quite the mildew. It's more like an old wooden shed. I don't know exactly. It's like an antique store smell almost. Maybe that is. I don't think it's so much mildew as it is just like old wood. It smells like old wood. Not Ed Wood. I'm sure Ed Wood had a particular smell, but old wood. This is got a little bit of a twist in our cable. Man, this soldering iron has been zero maintenance for a long time. It's been something like 4 years with this soldering iron. 4 years of this thing, and it still works every day. I barely even dust it off. So there's where the $300 and $250 goes. It goes towards not worrying about my soldering iron all the time. These parts, these are all very small surface mount parts that all need a home, and they're all kinds of miscellaneous. And I need to get them all into new bins. I got to order bins. I guess for now I'm just stuffing them all in one single bag, and I'll have to sort them out later and figure out what they are. Oh, and so that Red Bull that I bought that wasn't diet, and I was like perplexed by it. I was like, why did I buy a non-diet blueberry Red Bull? Because I don't do that. Usually I just grab the can for the diet can, or in this case I thought I grabbed a Red Bull Zero. Well, it turns out I did in fact grab a Red Bull Zero. I was cleaning up, which is a rare thing. Oh, FK Productions might recognize this mix. It's FK Productions, PHL, in the chat and on the audio. So I went to Wawa and I grabbed a Red Bull, and it turned out to be a blueberry non-diet Red Bull. And then I'm cleaning up the giant fucking pigsty that this place becomes. Can I curse this early into the stream? I think so. I think we're beyond the YouTube puritanical limit. But I'm cleaning up and I'm looking at all this crap over here that kind of piles up. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. all this crap over here that piles up, and I pick up a Wawa bag, and it's the Red Bull Zero that I thought I bought, that I did think I bought, and I was thinking correctly. I gaslighted myself into thinking that I didn't buy the right thing, and it turns out that I did buy the right thing. I'm not going crazy, you're going crazy. But yeah, apparently I bought the right thing, and then I also bought the wrong thing alongside the right thing in much oh bother fashion. How's everybody doing today? I'm tired. I'm tired. I've been going through, this guy buys things. I bought a thing in this economy. Believe it or not. Take that, liberals. Yeah, so I was up a little bit late. I'm actually going, one wrong cancels out the right. That's right, we're just in neutral territory now. I really need to get more of those little bins that I put parts in. I've been going through the GTA campaign. I actually decided that it was time. I don't know how long the GTA campaign is, GTA 5. I've had the game for like 12 years. It's like a 10-year-old game. But instead of just going through the plot vanilla, because that's boring and it's a 10-year-old game, I decided to install one of the menus. And the menus allow you to do crazy things like spawn crazy vehicles from the multiplayer and stuff like that. So I've been trying to do the campaign, which I've never done, and at the same time, yeah, make it a little crazy, because it's GTA after all. All right, there's our status light bulb that I want to look at just before we get into the CR scanner. This thing is pretty cool. I used it on my other computer and it did just fine. But we're gonna try to scan with like a turntable today to see if we can get a good scan of something. And I don't know what. I was gonna scan my dog. I was gonna get a scan of the corgi, but she doesn't sit still long enough. I mean, she does sit still when she's like lying on her back, which is just a hilarious position. I love corgis for this. They lie on their back and they look like a lawn dart. But if I start waving something around her, she is not going to trust it. And I know this because I got one of those, my neighbor's pretty cool. Can only scan sleeping corgis. Let sleeping corgis lie, because they're cute. My cool neighbor, who I really regret not having the time to go through this, got me a Flipper Zero, and I've loaded it up with a ton of different software. And one of the sort of innate things that the Flipper Zero can do is it can read the RFID tag that they use on pets. And so I put it into the mode to scan the RFID tag, and I started waving it over Willow, and she did not trust this. Did you dark flipper it? Is that what you have to do? I haven't done that. I've gone through all of the normal Flipper Zero stuff, and then I found somebody's GitHub from England and loaded this up with a bunch of 433 megahertz stuff. Like, yeah, please do. I would love to check it out, because yeah, I've looked at. I can't scan any of all the garage door openers here are from the 90s, but I can't get close enough to the neighbors when they're going in and out of their houses to try to scan it. So I really haven't done anything meaningful with this. Not to mention, I think some of them are rolling code things. But I know that there's software out there that enables this to do rolling codes and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Because yeah, I loaded this thing up with a bunch of stuff, but it's all kind of useless. It's all kind of useless. I think there's a resistor color code thing in this, and I was gonna try to like scan the TV remote so I don't have to have the TV remote, but it's like, I don't know. These things are useful, I guess. I don't, you know, the time has kind of passed a little bit on these. Garbage tinker stuff. Yeah, I have all of the amiibos in here. All of the amiibos in here for, you know, all that I use my Switch for. I haven't touched the Switch in like 2 years. And I've got the Legion Go, which is basically a laptop with a touchscreen and 2 controllers on the sides. And I haven't used that much either. So I need to actually put all my car scanning stuff on the Legion Go so that I can OBD scan my car with that thing. But yeah, I mean, the possibilities of the Flipper Zero, especially on a channel like this, I really should have more use for something like this. But I don't do a ton with RF because my internal organs are external and they use these frequencies. So I got a launch car ODBE tool. What? Well, with BMW, you can download you can download the engineering tools that they used on the BMWs. And it's Windows like 3.1 software, and all the error codes are in German. So if you get something wrong, it yells at you in German. It's kind of amazing. But these are very old programs, but they're very capable, and they're all free. You can just find like a multi-gigabyte download. It has all of the service manuals and all of these car tools with it. There's some dangerous stuff you can do. I actually bought an ABS module and registered it to my car by reflashing it. It's crazy. Yeah, it is in all caps. It's kind of crazy. Oh, a big touchscreen auto shop scan tool. Holy shit, those things are crazy. Does it have, it's not one of the old green and black screens though with the console. I actually have a computer that has that kind of monitor, and I would love to put chat on it. We're gonna do that one day. It's a Chinese OS on a touchscreen Android that has all car brand diagnostic tools. Holy crap. That's crazy. My brother did this weird thing where he has like an OBD2 plug that's Bluetooth, and he has that running to his Android like radio console, and he's got extra gauges on that. But he has an Excursion. It's basically a mobile home, but it's been made kind of to look manly and truck-like. We had to replace the head gasket on that thing, so we had to put a ladder up to it, and you'd climb up the ladder, and then you'd step into the engine bay and sit on the fender, or the edge of the engine bay, and then you could reach forward and work on the motor. Absolutely ridiculous in size. It's like getting a Unimog where all of your tools are no longer the proper size. You're putting your car jack up on a bunch of railroad ties just to get to the place where you're supposed to lift the car from. It's like everything is out of scale. CR Scan Ferret, that's this thing right here. This is a 3D scanner, and it's the entry-level-ish Creality 3D scanner. This is my Christmas gift to myself. I redid my ABS module as well. I had to, we had several streams where I went into the ABS module because it's fascinating. They built the whole thing on an aluminum PCB, and all the chips are just planted down on the aluminum PCB, and little gold bonding wires take it's like a totally different technology because it's supposed to be in a very hot area of the car. It's right above the exhaust manifold. And so all that's sealed in gel, and it kind of wiggles like a Jell-O mold. And so stuff goes really wrong with the ABS module. So I had to buy no less than I bought 2 or 3, I forget. I think it was 2 Croatian ABS modules. I think all the cars that got stolen and shipped overseas are now in junkyards somewhere in somewhere in that area of the world. And now they're all being parted out and put on eBay. So I was able to buy really cheap ABS module, which should be like multi-thousands of dollars. I didn't spend that much. But I got it in the mail, and I was able to just straight up plug it in and get it to work again. That's after we tried all kinds of stuff to repair my normal ABS module. It turns out their brains just go bad sometimes. There's just a 1 turns into a 0, and everything goes to crap. So I had to order multiple ABS modules, register them to the car, which requires a little bit of flashing and rescanning and all that stuff. It's crazy. The boards on them are crazy. No solder. All tension pins and whatnot. The RAM ABS module took a dump. It's probably going to be recalled. Basically, I fell down the rabbit hole of fixing them. I can sympathize exactly with that because now I know exactly. I know all of the parameters of that ABS module to the degree where if I decide to go and work on the steering wheel project, I could probably make the pedal feel like it was doing ABS. I hate them. Yeah, there's nothing fosters a primal hatred of a system by having to learn every facet of it. I don't think it was actually Croatia. I'm just naming a random European-y place. Yeah, the dealership would have put you over the barrel, put me over the barrel. They go, "Well, BMW, yeah, that'll be $7,000 and/or just sell the car." Poland, I forget where I got it from. I got to check those packages. I got to check out those packages and see where they're from. The BMW one has a lot of redundancy in it, but that gel circuit board is fascinating. All it's doing is setting off a bunch of electromagnets on like a manifold, and there's multiple pumps on it too. We took the pumps apart. Those are simple as can be. You just give them 12 volts, and it's just a gear pump that gives you all that pressure, and then it divvies the pressure out to various places. Pretty interesting system, actually. But the project that I want to do, FK, if I ever get space, and I certainly don't have the budget for it at the moment, or ever moment, I'll never have the budget for it, but I want to buy like a rust bucket, like a little hatchback, preferably something really weird, and buy a Tesla, because all of the Teslas are being liquidated from the rental car companies, or they have been recently. I don't know if that's still the case. It might be. You can get a Tesla for like a couple $1,000s, right? I think maybe $4 of the $1,000, which is fine, because if you buy just the drivetrain of the Tesla, it's much more expensive. So you get a battery, you get 2 motors, you get the diffs and all that stuff. You pull that out of the Tesla, put it into something crazy, right, with a bunch of brackets, and then put your own computer on that. Bob's your uncle. You got a full-fledged, insanely fast, something all-wheel drive crazy car. Yeah, it's just a big solenoid controller. It's just clicking a bunch of relays. Crazy times, crazy stuff. I can't believe that they decided to put it above the exhaust manifold on the BMWs. And the reason for that is to save on copper. Apparently, having it in that area means that all the sensor wires and stuff are going less distance. But they had to do all of that engineering to get it to survive the huge temperature swings that it would see above an exhaust manifold. Crazy. What about putting a Volvo P1800 on top of the Tesla platform? My brother has a P1800 ES, the hatchback, and it's a crazy car. He's sort of modernized it by updating all of the engine stuff. So he's got it running on a Mega Squirt. And so one lunchtime, a lifetime ago, I was sitting at the FBI Technical Center cafeteria. It was some Sodex Ho cafeteria. It's not great food, but whatever. Eating lunch there. The director of the building of the engineering center of the FBI sits down with us and is having a conversation, and it sort of drifted over to cars. And I talked about my brother's P1800 ES that he installed Mega Squirt onto. And so I'm talking to one of the header honchos of the 3-letter agency, saying Mega Squirt over and over again. And my coworkers were like, what the hell were you saying to him? I'm like, it's a car computer. So anyway, that time my brother Mega Squirted and I helped him with it. Anyway. Mega Squirt is common for Miatas, as a lost spark engine computer. There are other engine computers nowadays, though. There's other systems that are pretty cool. There's a whole Arduino engine computer thing. I need to wipe this off. This is getting gross from all the streaming use. I've been kind of underwater for a couple days here. I need to kind of pull myself up again and clean up around here, because things are getting a little bit bad. It tends to happen to a shop if you're not on top of it. Usually Fridays is the day to kind of neaten up and clean things. I've been sitting on the CR scanner for a little while, so I really want to mess with this and see like what it's capable of, and if this computer can handle it. If this computer can't handle it, we'll do something else. I have other stuff I can do. Bother EV is an off-road vehicle not authorized by the state of Pennsylvania. No. You can register project cars. It's pretty cool. You can have it registered as like a go-kart if you really want to, but there are I've read the laws, I don't remember them, but there are some really specific laws about project cars and the amount of stuff that you've done to a car and how it's registered. I mean, a lot of it is emissions is the hard part. So if I'm doing an EV, what emissions? Like, what do you mean? What emissions? But yeah, a P1800 would be pretty cool. P1800 is very high up because Volvo's safety. It's interesting to see why are Volvos so safe? Well, if you sit at a Volvo, you'll notice that you're not looking outside of the car at like any kind of a downward angle, because most of the stuff is up at your shoulder height. That means that the glass, well, at least in a P1800, it's very kind of thin glass. But even in the modern like the what is it, the semi SUVs or whatever the hell they are. I'm sitting in that thing and I'm like, man, this is all up to my shoulders. Oh, Will's barking at something. Oh yeah, FK Productions. Do you remember the engineering, the electrical engineering stuff at Drexel? All those rack mounted pieces of equipment that they had in the labs? I don't know if you know that. I lived in those labs. So I just got 2 giant rack. Let me go get them. I have holdovers from Drexel. I'm going to get one of them at least. Let me grab one of them. I just scored these things from a friend. Oh, this thing is not light. It's not light. This thing is built like a fucking tank. Whew. There, this thing. Huge tracts of land. Yeah, I just got 2 of these things, not with the same equipment. The other one has different equipment in it. But this is all the stuff that hung out at the labs that we would never use. I mean, I think I've used this power supply before, but this is a programmable digital multimeter. I have an arbitrary waveform generator too, but these have sat in a shed for nigh on 20 years. So, MATLAB. P-Spice. P-Spice is a programmer's practical joke against electrical engineers. At least in what we understood it back in 2003 or 4. That program you would do nothing, right? Everything would be set up. You do exactly what they said in the lab, and you'd hit simulate. Nothing happens. It throws up an error. I can't simulate that. Like, oh, okay. What did I not do? Let me check. Yeah, everything that the lab said was here is here. I didn't change anything. Hit simulate. Oh, and it works. It suddenly works for no reason. You didn't change anything. That program sucks. I remember doing a lot of stuff in MATLAB. I did a moon landing script. All kinds of stupid stuff. Only emission is blue tire smoke. Hell yeah. What's up, Bad Direction? I got a VEMS ECU unused that was going to be for a classic Mini. Ooh. But I heard about using Arduino as an ECU. That might be a fun project. Yeah, there's some efforts about that. And I don't know if they've got the fuel maps. I know Megascore does all the fuel maps because it's been around forever. But the Arduino ECU is another project that I haven't been watching it at all. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what they are capable of with that. I'm going to open up, as if I'm not manic enough already this afternoon, I'm going to open up this Red Bull because I've been sitting on it for why are you guys looking at me there? Jesus Christ, you guys fucking weirdos. I've been sitting on this thing for 3 days. I can't believe I actually have this. And I'm tired today. No longer. I'm going to cure my tiredness by generating kidney stones. I don't know if we'll work on these things tomorrow. We might look at these tomorrow. This thing is enormous, so it's kind of hard for me to kind of look at. I have a feeling these pieces of equipment are a lot smaller, and maybe I'll be just pulling these out of these giant racks and putting the racks in the storage for a little while. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have enough room to put a big old rack in here. Big old tracts of land, and then I can have all this cool equipment that'll go. Yeah, can those go beep boop bop? Yeah, then I'll have all the cool equipment that I can put on one of the Tasmota switches, so that when I start stream, I have all the blinking lights going. That was really important. Every now and then during the government job that I had, the conspiratorial job at the U.S. government. Every now and then we would have generals and stuff actually touring because IEDs were a hot topic at that point. And so they would come and be like, what the hell are we paying for? And we were like, oh, we've got all the sciencey stuff going on all at once. We would turn on all of the equipment in the lab, all of it, and make sure that pretty images were going across the oscilloscopes and stuff. And so somebody would have to go there and sit in the lab with a device that they've already analyzed a month ago and hook it all up to all the stuff and beep, boop, beep. Oh, look at that. Stuff's happening. It was so disingenuous. I loved it. But yeah, one of the important things is if you've got a wall of equipment, you got to turn it on to show it off so that all the blinking lights are going. Because, you don't use all the equipment at once. But I've got several oscilloscopes. I've got a couple power supplies and stuff like that. One day, instead of maybe the milling machine over there, I could do a wall of electrical test equipment. Instead of 4 hertz sine waves on the scope over there. Yeah, exactly. You just something going on. Just something across that screen to make it look like we're using everything that we've got. We had a logic analyzer that was at least a $15,000 piece of equipment. It might have been 20. And we never used it. It went on the budget because you just put stuff on the budget and then they randomly give you stuff on the budget. So this extremely expensive, I think it was LaCroix, or is that a seltzer company? Wait a minute. La Crusette? No, those are pans. I forget. It was a French company, but it was a logic analyzer. It was basically a Windows machine. So we mostly used it as a Windows machine. We didn't really use it as a logic analyzer. But it was, I looked up the price and I was just like, what the hell? They just gave it to us. We never used it. I don't know why they put it on the budget. Ridiculous. But if you don't use your budget, you don't get it the next, whatever it is, billing cycle. There's some acid there. That sounds like a 303. I got 2 303s in my possession right now. One of them has to go to a generous fellow who sent it in. The other one has to go to Julian's buddy Dave. I need to fix them still. They're not outputting enough stuff. I have enough of my testing apparatus that I could test these things out and possibly get them working again. So that's another thing that we're going to kind of bring back, and maybe I can finish those, get them out there, get them back to their owners so that I no longer am responsible for them. They're sitting in a bin behind me, a special place. I have them revered. The one with the little piece of gaffer's tape over the creator's name is the one that goes to Dave. But they're in the exact same shape, both of them. They work, but they don't output enough amplitude, and I don't know why. Now, there's a little bit of tuning that I have to do with them too that I don't really know if I'm going to be able to do. And so work in the background, what I've been doing while in the throes of being utterly just shocked at stuff, the state of things, I've been working in Fusion, and I've started putting together the module tester. That one is going to be difficult. It's not a big circuit board. It's a very small circuit board with a lot of stuff in it. So we'll see how that goes. How about an impedance correction circuit? Just some random amp in the output. There's a single op amp on an SOT23-5. That looks like it's actually this package right here. Oh, the microscope isn't aimed properly. I need to, that's another project that I need to do, damn it, is make a better mount for this microscope camera. It needs a slightly more solid mount, and so I need to grab the milling machine, and I need to mill without a DRO, because the DRO doesn't work in the mill. Milling without a DRO, I know it's like a crutch, right? I got used to having the DRO do all my numbers for me, and now I have to do something without the DRO, and I'm just lost. I'm lost. What does this do? This is a knob? What does that move? How much did that? I just don't know how to mill anything anymore. I almost killed FK Productions by pulling a lever on a mill one time. He should be dead. Don't pull levers on mills when your buddy's showing you them. I just saw this weird... It was like a... When was that? God, it was years ago. You were showing me the shop at the point when you were like showing me the Bridgeport, and there was this aluminum bracket on the front of the Bridgeport that was like L-shaped, and I was like, what the hell? And I pulled it, and the thing spun, and it's like, whoa. It was the dumbest thing. It was really dumb. Anyway, the the 303s don't work because of a part that looks like this. That's a singular op amp. Yeah, you remember it because you almost fucking died. I should not have done that. I should not have did that. I mean, you might be joking, but I'm not. I remember that. It will weigh on my mind for until I'm senile, until my brain actively removes it, or until I get a major head injury doing this stuff. I mean, streaming on Twitch should be classified as having a head injury, I think. That's pretty much, that stands to reason. Op amp plus duct tape equals love. Have I recommended this to FK? Is that a game called Abiotic Factor? I think I have. It's like Half-Life 1, but it's a survival game. There's going to be a big update soon, and that game's going to consume me once again for at least a couple more hours. It is a good game. It's also multiplayer, but I've been playing it single player. I don't have friends. Forever Winter. I've heard of that one too. Yeah, is that one of those? That's not. What is the other one? What's the other one? It's the like winter survival game. Murder Horror Survivals Forever. Which one is Forever? Forever Winter. Oh yes, that's that one. I think I saw a streamer play that one. Kind of a crazy game. The game is Half-Life in a shopping mall. I know, it's so good. It's so good. You're like breaking down office desks in order to make your little like hidey hole nest turtling area. Great art direction and audio. Yeah, it's a striking game. I haven't personally played it, so I haven't heard it on my like crazy headphones, but I've been going through the GTA 5 story just because I figure I might as well. I've got 200 hours into GTA 5, probably mostly all multiplayer, just to, fuck around with friends. But everybody talks about how good the main plot is, and I want to be able to either tell them no or agree. Should Helldive? I never got into Helldivers. I never played any of it. I know it's good, and I should probably play it. I was into Helldivers 1. Helldivers should be an isometric game. I liked Helldivers. All my friends, people that play games, didn't like Helldivers 1. I loved it. I had Rich Evans asking for me in the chat room for their stream to play Helldivers 1 with him. Rich fucking Evans, do you even know? that was back before I started streaming. A million years ago. All right, let's see here. I wanted to try to send a signal over Node-RED to this light bulb sitting in front of me, because this thing is on and active right now. And if I can figure that out, then I can have an on-air light. Oh, right, it doesn't understand toggle 2. Don't need that. We're ready to order some of these circuit boards, and I guess I should probably just bite the bullet and do it. That's the shop light configuration. Don't need that. That should be the fan, but it didn't work. It's some light switch that I don't know what the configuration is. That's a switch that I installed into the wall that is on Wi-Fi, and I don't know what it do. Oh, so the light still does work. We can turn it on red. You guys can't see that. It doesn't look like anything, but it is on and it is red. I can turn on that one. You guys still can't really see that it's turning on. Weird thing about these cameras and brightness. I can do this. Bada bing. That doesn't even look like it turned on. It did, I can assure you. Here, put it over here maybe. Yeah, there we go. So this is a red light stream. What? What are you implying? Rude. I need to know how I send this thing. WLED. This is Tasmota, which I swear by. All of my, like the light here that I do, this splash light, that third light source that gives me beautiful, wondrous, you guys can see my swollen hand in all of its regalia. That's this light right here, and that is controlled by a Tasmota switch. And the Tasmota switch is listening to an OBS plugin. OBS is the broadcasting software. And so then I get a message from the OBS software that I've switched scenes. And if I switch scenes, that's down here, this stuff. Current program scene change. I guess we're doing something, JSON over there. And then it contains the word spring arm that turns on or off the light over here. So Node-RED can do stuff like, yeah, it's a little bit like Touch Designer. It's like, like the Blender systems and stuff like that. It's nodes have Java flows, and you pick stuff out of the Java flows, and you have interactions with the Java flows. And so the plugins, the things that you run stuff with or get information from, are coming from, what is it, a Mosquito MQTT server that's on my server over there, I had a lot of help with that. I think it was Brink GG that helped me a lot with all this stuff, because it was getting a little bit overwhelming. But now that I have this working, I can set up these flows so that information comes in, we pick stuff out of it, and then interactions happen. And you can do stuff even beyond this with like smart home stuff. Computers are all crap. I kind of agree with you. I was just earlier, I was watching Rabaz, and he's talking about getting a 5090. Why? What is he doing? He's developing a game that looks like a PlayStation 1 game, and he plays games, which sometimes includes AAAs. But a 5090 is made for people who are doing stuff with like AI. Computers are all crap. You don't need a good computer. Hey, what's up, Hairbothan? I don't know. Like even Fusion 360, it's like running perfectly on. This is a 1080 FTW. We're gonna see today, and this actually, computers are all crap as sort of a talking point builds into what we're working on today. We're bashing the 5090 just from the standpoint of somebody who used to be into like looking up the cutting edge gear. Now it's like a personality that I just can't get behind. It's just not something like, you used to get the best thing out there and it would kind of run all the stuff that you wanted it to. Nowadays you get crap and it runs everything. You don't need to be a gear hound. That's sort of a thing of the past. And I just, the direction all this stuff goes, it's all AI, right? You don't need the latest and greatest to run. I'm playing a game that has Half-Life 1 graphics, and I have 250 hours into it. Like, you don't need anything. You need some triangles. I'd play a game that's just a triangle, just one triangle, and you have to measure the sides. That's isosceles, and you're not going to tell me otherwise, game. I lost points. It was actually equilateral. I had a math teacher. A math teacher was gifted a New Yorker cartoon that was framed, and this guy played on the Philadelphia Wings lacrosse team at my high school. He played on the Philadelphia team. He was teaching at my high school, and we had the test about the different triangles. And because it was a photocopied piece of paper, this one student, who I remember him well, I think he's a doctor now, he had a ruler and he measured the sides, and one of them was off by like a fraction of a millimeter. And so he said it was not the right triangle, and he lost points on the test. And he argued with the teacher, and the teacher threw this framed New Yorker cartoon against the wall, and it shattered. Don't bring a ruler to a test that's not supposed to have a ruler. Fractions of a millimeter. I have a 4080, and while it can handle most modern games perfectly, I choose to play Fallout New Vegas. Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, actually, even now, it's groundbreaking that Star Citizen Chris Roberts is like, I don't want to cater to consoles, right? And where everybody's like, whoa, amazing! This is going to have amazing graphics because it's not catering to consoles. Like, consoles, in a sense, they're holding back the latest and greatest technology in making games, and that's not. I've come to reason that that's not actually a bad thing, because I don't know. Graphics are nice, but if you have good art direction, you don't need graphics. So, I don't know. This is the whole thing about that. Bethesda games need power. Yeah, how else are you going to run all the mods, right? All the badly spaghetti code mods that fix all the weird issues that a Bethesda game has? I saw a post that said Baldur's Gate 3 is the new Skyrim. And I'm wondering about that. I have not played Baldur's Gate 3, so I do not have opinions on it. But everybody loves that game. Everybody is so like, yes, this is a game. This is gaming. Gaming is saved. Baldur's Gate 3, go. They're calling it, I saw a post that calls it the new Skyrim. I don't know if that's the case. I'm sure there's all kinds of like, have the perverts gotten to Baldur's Gate 3? I'm guessing yes, because that's usually the turning point, is when you get all the pervert mods. I was browsing GTA 5 mods, and ever since Hot Coffee, we have been on an exponential increase of perversion in mods. And just browsing GTA 5 mods, I'm like, well, there's a boob mod, there's another boob mod, there's a naked mod, there's another naked mod. It's like, all right, yeah, I guess it's at the point where I can start installing mods. It's got all the perverted mods out of the way. GTA 5 is a mature modding scene. Actually, it's gone to the point where GTA Roleplay is like light years beyond what the state of GTA 5 mods. Like, I wish I could mod in some of that GTA 5 RP stuff, because they've got their own system of menus, they've got their own system of cell phones, they've got their own, like, they have taken that game and really just retooled it into becoming this role-playing engine that really works well. It's kind of interesting to see. Hey, maybe GTA 6 will take some cues from that. I don't know what the state of GTA 6 is. Every now and then you see a leak, but everybody will have all these expectations for it, and they're all going to get disappointed when it releases, because it's going to be like GTA 5.2. I don't know. I maybe Rockstar has something totally groundbreaking in store. In-game video calls? Oh my god. See what I mean? And you got all these director options where you can move the cameras around and stuff like that, and all the different skeletal animations and things. It's actually kind of amazing. My best experience with skeletal modifications is I went down the full pervert zone with Oblivion, and I was like, well, that's cute. That's very perverted. I'm very happy. Uninstall all the pervy mods, right? But I accidentally left in one of the skeletal animations. So I went back to an old save where I had my glass cannon mage who runs around in robes and can get killed very easily, but can also do a ton of damage on command. And I left in the mods, so I started to get chased by one of like the big spiders, and I was running away from it, and my sorcerer was mincing away. I was going, oh my goodness, look out, there's a spider. It was one of the kind of like fall out of your chair laughing moments that I've had with that game. So toggle 2 didn't work. I need to figure out what the command that I'm going to send this bulb is in order to activate, I guess, the channels of it. Single output JSON object, channel 0. This is output features though. Light features, dimmable, color, temperature, and colors. So what does that mean in terms of what I'm sending it? I'm not just sending it a toggle. Message payload. What if it 255, 255, 255 maybe? If that's RG and B? Nope. It does not like that. Invalid value for the on command should be true, false, 1, 0, on, off, or toggle. Well then, what in the hell do I actually send it in order to change the, do I not have the ability to control that? It only respond to the power, dimmer, color, HSB color, and white commands. So something like power on. Okay, let me just cut and paste that. How do you know this, Ben Gizmo? Why do you always know what I'm doing before I do it? Why are you always on point? So if message payload is power on, dimmer, color, etc., and that is A to Z string, is that supposed to be, or is it JSON? We'll try JSON. Hey! Wait, what did that inject though? Color name or plus minus. Yeah, that only turns it on, but I've got color foof it didn't like. Color name, what would that be? It's not going to be like blue. I'm going to try injecting blue. Color blue. Deploy. Oh my god, that worked. Wait a minute, it's fucking blue. It's really, really blue. It actually kind of hurts that it's so blue. Wait a minute. Why did that work? Color, blurple. Colors blurple. It didn't like that. It didn't like that at all. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are GGBWW on mine, but not for yours? Yeah, I don't. Well, maybe because of the way I configured it. I configured it to do color, not PWM values, because you can make it do PWM values. Purple. It went purple. It's purple. You guys can't really see it, but it did go purple. Put a hashtag at the beginning of the color. So if I do color foof with a hash mark in front of it, pound sign, I should say. So if I do inside the quotes, nah, it didn't like that. Oh, there are IO docs. Oh, neat. All right, so I got homework to do for this. This is going to be my on-air light, so if I can get it to inject just red and green or something, that's enough. But getting more into it, I can take a look at the commands. But I guess what I can do right now is I can take the bulb 1 command, and instead of injecting that, I'll take, first of all, grab this, and instead of that, I'm going to have it do contains started or stopped, and then there's also starting and stopping, so that's actually a branch that I'm going to do there. I need to move this away. There's not enough room. We'll just go down here, grab my light. So then I need to do, what is this one? This one is a change node, set message payload to the value. Okay, so we'll take this one, bring that down there, and then we set the message payload in accordance to this JSON, and its color is going to be red. Dimmer is going to be 20, because I don't want my eyes blasted off. Power on, dimmer 20, color red for the first node, which is output started. And this one is on red. Red. And then I'll bring in another one of these. This one's going to be green. Green! I'm going to leave it as green. Payload is going to be very dim, because this is going to be almost, it's going to be on this color most of the time. So green. Dimmer again is 20. We're not going to make this in your face. It's going to be something I can glance at. So power on, dimmer 20, blah, 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 green. And then the green is coming out of output stopped. Starting and stopping will be an improvement later. Red, green, probably like yellow. Let's put it in there. Put another one in here. We'll call it yeller. Actually, let's put another one in there and make it orang. Orang. Yellow. And then we don't need our inject anymore. Bring this over here, and then we get the message payloads. I'm going to copy that command, and I'm just going to use that. And we'll keep it at 20 for all of these. To the value, dimmer 20. Color, this one's orange. Got to remember to spell stuff right when we're outside of the comedy zone. Oh, hey! It's Code Rushed. What's up? I'm doing a little Node Red before stream. I'm making my on-air light work. What's up, Code Rushed? Could try three values of color, 22500. That also works with mine. Yeah, maybe I can try that later. Right now, I'm just using color names What we're doing is setting up a Node-RED flow. What we have is something that's monitoring my OBS, and it's looking for the stream state to change. Now, I've already listened in on this line. So I listened in on this line during the past stream. I had a debug running so that now I know what the WebSocket output starting, WebSocket output started. So there's starting, started, stopping, stopped. And so now I've got all of those going through here, and I can monitor them on the debug, or I can react to started or stopped. So if it contains web output started, stopped, starting, stopping. And now what I can do is I can change the message payload so that it changes the color of my light bulb here. Welcome, Raiders. Yeah. Once more, Ben Gizmo is on point. On point. So we just inject that crap into my light bulb. And now, presumably, when the stream starts or stops, my light bulb's going to change its properties. Let's bring in another debug here, just so we can see what that looks like. So we're going to debug, we're going to inject this into here, and the injection is going to be horrible chemicals. It's going to be dimmer 10 or dimmer 20, and we're going to give it red for stream is running. Deploy that. Bada bing. So that's actually a little bit dim. 20 is a little bit, I mean, that's like a good, I guess if it's in the dark, it's a good indicator, but let's give it like 40. 40. I gotta get a haircut, chat. I am a little bit too much Sam Squanch. I mean, it's been colder than colder than it's been for a while in Philadelphia. So having all of the extra hair does kind of help. Although there was like a cool breeze outside. My dog doesn't care at all. She loves this weather. She's been doing zoomies in the snow and just loves it. She's soaking it all up. And I'm sitting there just with icicles on my face. The beard doesn't really seem to help terribly with that, so I think I need to trim it up a little bit, just so it looks good. And I know everybody's wearing hats, but the hats pop off of my head because of all my hair. So we're going to inject this at 40, and we'll see what 40 red looks like. I could set up another node to adjust the brightness, but I guess this is pretty good. I can put this somewhere that's not in all the studio lights so that I can see what the stream status is. Maybe I can put a label across it that just says like on air. And then eventually I can buy one of those vintage on air signs. I've wanted one of those for some time. They're $75. I need to contact my brother. I'm very bad at communicating with him. I need to contact my brother and ask him what happened to the old on air sign, because then I can, ramp this thing up to 100% and put it behind that on-air light, and I can have my status, put it like, you guys won't be able to see it because everything will start and stop, but engrave a label on it using a punch tool, which has been heated. That's a little bit, I don't want to destroy the bulb. This, we flashed this with Tasmota. So we had to take it apart. I had to take this stuff out, and I had to hook it up to a programmer. And so now it doesn't phone home. This thing no longer will this communicate with the parent company that created it and sell my data. I think it's kind of warm, huh? But with Tasmota, that means I can plug it into Node-RED, and Node-RED is how I'm turning on and off this light here. So we've got that interactivity layer. The next thing to do is to get Twitch interaction going on stuff. So if I get a raid, if I get subs, I can turn other stuff on. Maybe I'll get like one of those spinning lights. What are those called again? What are those called? Here we go. Name for spinning alert light. Beacon light. Go to Amazon. No, a klaxon is a siren. I guess, okay, so those are the ones that flash. I need to get the ones that do the little wee-woo thing. I mean, I could also go to steal it back. and look up now the wigwag is the thing that does the lights back and forth. Sometimes they sell old cop lights and stuff on Property Room. Vehicles, parts and accessories. Sometimes you'll find a police siren on here. I was going to see if there was the police lights, rather. Doesn't look like they have any. They've kind of gone the way of selling generic products that used to be police auction stuff. And so you'd have to drive out to the county where they're selling it because they really don't want to pack stuff up. Used to be able to buy like pallets of computers, old computers and stuff. This was a crazy website back in the day, but I guess they've kind of fallen to the generic product gig. $132? What is it, explosion proof? What the heck? It is SAE certified, so I guess that's where the cost is. The tiny ones are for burn the subs. Those are from Alibaba, by the way. Those little LED spinny lights. Those things are great. $9. That's more my speed. You can get the red and the blue. Oh my goodness. Well, maybe one day I'll buy these kitschy little things and we can hook them up to an ESP8266 and there'll be little Node Red sirens that'll be able to be activated when I get a raid. I don't want the little tiny ones to be in charge of that because they're little tiny. I want them to be big. You know, big raid siren. Why not both? Because I value my hearing. I enjoy hearing things, and that may not happen so good if I have a giant raid siren. Should we get started? What time is it? Oh my god. Fake cop bother fund, 100 bits. I'm not going to put them on my car. That's kind of where the illegality sets in. Let's get started soon out of here. Let's get the mix out of here. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to Thursday. It's Thursday, right? It's Thursday. I wanted to do something a little different today just because we've been hammering away at these circuit boards. When you're designing a circuit board, it requires quite a bit of like your focus and concentration in order to get all those little tiny details right. And that usually was the focus of building a circuit board because circuit boards were like $100 for like a little crappy one, right? You $100, you'd wait a week, it would come in the mail, and I've got everything wrong, and I've got to make those corrections, order them again, and it's another week, it's another $100. You know, that $100, not a lot for like a corporation to be making circuit boards with, but for like the hobbyist, myself, and hopefully you included, that's a big deal. Nowadays, $5, less than a week, boards are in your lap. So it used to be that I would sweat the small stuff and go over the details with a fine-tooth comb, which involves also sitting for a day, because if you're waiting for a week for these circuit boards, you can sit for a day before you order it. Sit for a day, let all the little greebles out of your brain so that the project and the design becomes fresh again. It's sort of revisiting your art. You're burnt out on it. You've worked on it for like 20 hours, and you're ready to just let this thing go. You go, okay, I'll work on something else today. And then the day after that, you come back to it and you go, I didn't see this, I didn't see that, I didn't see the other thing. Find all kinds of stuff when you come back to a design. Although nowadays you could probably just order it and go whoops-a-daisy and then make the corrections and have another circuit board in 2 days if you want to spend the extra money. But I don't want to spend the extra money. I'm letting the design just kind of sit for a day. I'll come back to it, do a couple little extra checks, generate the output files, which involves a cam job or whatever. It's there's a whole, you run a job basically, and it will output the files to a folder. Those get uploaded to the website that sells the PCBs services, and then I hit order. I put my credit card details in. I get my glasses, my reading glasses, and I put them up, and I go, okay, four 5.5, and then I order them. And then in a week, we will have circuit boards. Now, the Chinese New Year is fast approaching, so it's pretty much like today, I need to output those files and order the PCBs. Otherwise, there's a chance that it all goes down next week, and it'll be like 2 or 3 weeks until I get PCBs. Not sure about JLC PCB, though. Are they in China? I don't know where they are. One of them's American. That's Osh Park. I think Osh Park is in America. I should probably like put these like under task. I should actually like research so that I know. If JLC's in China, I guess they will also be subject. And I think I saw a warning on the website that said, hey, we're going to be closed down this week. Closed down for a week, set off a bunch of fireworks, yay, New Year, and then everybody comes back to work and everything happens again for the next year. So, you know, hey, they get to take a vacation too. I don't mind if there's a bit of a delay. It just means that stream, we're going to have to do some other stuff. Speaking of which, the Creality CR scanner. This was a holiday gift to myself. Listen, I'm a maker. Everything I don't like, I modify. I am extremely hard to shop for. Unless you get me something stupid and kitschy or some kind of a weird tool. Not like that, you pervert. Just some kind of a weird tool. I am extremely hard to shop for. So I basically just bought this for myself. Merry Christmas to me. Thanks, everybody. You know me so well. So this is the CR Scan Ferret. Nobody paid for me to do this today. Boy, would it be kind of cool if they did. But I am just not that cool. You know, I emailed Bamboo Labs and I said, hey, I got this little stream. I would love it if I could show off one of your printers on my stream. And they ignored me. I got no correspondence from them. I am not that big of a channel. Anyway, the CR Scan Ferret. If some of you remember, maybe not all of you, that we have had quite a time figuring out how to scan things. There's multiple different ways to scan stuff into 3D. You can do photogrammetry, where you take just a ton of photos and you put them all together, and the relative position can be sort of ascertained, and you can get a 3-dimensional object out of that. We've tried that. It creates a lot of, it's just like bulk data that takes up a bunch of space. So we had a relatively okay time doing that. I still wasn't really able to get a good 3D scan. You can get a Microsoft Kinect, which is doing something very similar to what the CR Scan does. Think of all the inappropriate things you can scan with that. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But anyway, so we tried the Microsoft Kinect, and now I have 2 Kinects that are powered down and not doing anything. We actually discovered that the Kinect makes a really, really good sort of VTuber avatar. Now I think there are programs where you can use the Kinect to do a VTuber avatar, and I would be interested in that, because then we could have game streams and I could have just the bother chip in the corner. And I wouldn't have my stupid face taking up most of the space. But that, Godad remembers, the Kinect allows you to have this point cloud, which looks really cool, and then you can move the point cloud at an angle. So you can have, and this is bugging me out. It was totally crazy. I had the Kinect sitting here, but the camera angle was over here. So it's like having a virtual camera over there instead of where the camera actually is. Really cool stuff. I would love to get that point cloud as an avatar, or have it control the avatar. It's just kind of a cool thing. But that's a lot of like old software that I have to install and stuff like that. So anyway, I tried to use the Kinect in order to scan stuff, and it was okay at it. It kind of did okay. Ask Boom. Yeah, Boom does a lot of crazy. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what Boom's doing. She I think but they're putting together their avatar and a whole bunch of different interactions, just all in 3D game software, right? It's all in, is it Blender? I think it's Blah. Not it's Blah. BLE is the code that I type into the start menu in order to get Blender. I have Fus for Fusion and Blah for Blender. That's how I do all of my modeling. I go Blah, Fus, Blah, Fus. It's like playing Skyrim. But anyway, she's a wizard. Yeah, there's some crazy, crazy stuff over there. But anyway, so I got this scanner because we had a hell of a time getting 3-dimensional objects into the computer. One of them in particular is plaguing me to this day, and maybe we'll take it out today and check it out. It is the steering wheel bevel. Oh, you typed in the appropriate number. It's very difficult to get the number of O's. So if you guys look at that there, that link, that's not an official shout out, isn't it? There's a / shout out that will have the link at it. Yeah, that's our unofficial with the 2 bars on the top and the bottom. Anyway, so I'm gonna try this thing out. This computer, I got an ad as a reward for accidentally refreshing the page. I like, moderators should not get ads. That's the sad state of affairs, is that streamers shouldn't get ads and moderators should not get ads. How are you supposed to moderate the channel if you can't see what the streamer's doing? I could be sitting here going, guards, get them, and nobody would hear me. Can my computer handle this? Well, we need to install the software for it. I don't think it involves a heavy restart. I don't think. I think I should be able to get away with not restarting the computer. We'll see. YouTube showed me an ad today. I almost fell out of my chair. My stuff still works. They haven't. Their rolling targeting of the ad block scripting has not affected me yet. As soon as it does, it's just like, oh, using Firefox suddenly. But I've managed to stick with Chrome for some time. I have to reconcile the Firefox start page, because I have a special plugin for streamering where if I click on a new tab, there's nothing there. I guess it would be nice if this is dark mode, but this at least keeps my browsing history secret from you guys. You don't see all the perverted websites that I go to. But that's one thing that I have in Chrome. I think there's probably an equivalent in Firefox. But that's one of the things I have to figure out for stream. Anyway, so we need the CR10 scan, or CR scanner. We need to download that software. What's it called again? Is it CR scan? CR scan. Oh, I put 3 N's in there. Download. Not cam scan. What the hell? Why did it correct it to cam scan? What the hell? You bastards. Oh, now it's, did you mean cam scan? No, I didn't. I did not mean that, in fact. Reality scan software. I didn't do my homework and get this installed ahead of time. Which one are we doing here? Reality, get out of here. That's the manual. CR scan Windows 3.1. Are you? Oh, 3.3. Wait a minute. That's not Windows 3.1. That's just the version for Windows. I see now. Netscape Navigator 4. Yes. Oh man, I wonder what opening a web page would be like in like Netscape. Okay, so that downloaded, right? So that's in my downloads folder. Downloads. Reality scan Windows. All right, we're gonna run this, and I sincerely hope that we don't need verified publisher. Oh boy, that was a bunch of Chinese characters there. I think we're okay though. I have this installed on my other computer, so how bad could it be? I'm gonna burp. I'm back. I burped. Yeah, we're gonna try this. I have a turntable. I have a sort of a hacked together turntable that we could use potentially to spin whatever we're scanning, and we'll see how that goes. And with the 1080 FTW and the relatively old motherboard on this computer, we'll see if it can handle working a scan. Because yeah, I got so frustrated at trying to make a 3D printed airbag cover by scanning that bevel that I've gone and spent $300-ish, I think it was $200-ish on a CR scanner. I figure this could probably come in handy in the future, although a lot of the stuff that we sort of designed for around here is stuff that we've already kind of designed in CAD anyway. It's like the brackets that we're using don't really go on just some random stuff. But I figure I've got a couple uses for this thing, and maybe it'll rear its ugly head a few more times in the future beyond the steering wheel project. Oh, here we go. Multi-3 PC programming. Run Creality scan, finish for setup. All right, cool. So we didn't have to restart the computer, thank goodness. Usually when they want you to restart the whole computer, it's really just restarting Windows. But I mean, I'm running several pieces of Windows software that are responsible for streaming at the Mo. Oh, it's all the way back here in the background. Oh, dear God, why did they do this with their program? Everything's out of focus. I feel like I've sustained a head injury. Oh, it's performance testing. Well, I'm not dropping any frames during the performance test, so really, how bad could it be? Please upgrade the software to the latest version. What in the goddamn do you have on your website then? Put the latest version on the website, for fuck's sake. Wait, why does it tell it? It wants me to upgrade this immediately after downloading it from their website. What? Like, what? Huh? Ridiculous. Fine, update, whatever. Oh, a very speedy download of that. I have fiber. Scan myself and print mini bothers. I could be doing this. Put them all over the shop. Who was that? That was that the Secret Life of Machines guy? There was or maybe it was some artist. I think it was the Secret Life of Machines guy. He would take like model railroad miniatures and he would put them inside of like his computer and stuff. So he would you'd look inside the computer and there would be all these little people like doing stuff, because those little mini railroad guys, they're all like, you know, guy with a clipboard looking at something and stuff like that. Uh-oh. Error opening for writing. Retry. Oh, I guess it closed the software and then started over again. I forget who it was. Maybe it wasn't the Secret Life of Machines guy. It might have been somebody else. It might have been an art book that I had. But I remember these pictures of like, you know, like it's like a computer motherboard and they've got the little guy with the clipboard like pointing at something and like everybody's wearing hard hats, all these little miniatures inside of it. It's very cute. It's a good idea. Maybe I could get scans of myself, but I don't like the shape of my body. Let's be honest. I don't like the shape of my body. I don't want to scan myself. Maybe if I got in shape, which I should be working on. I've been walking the dog a lot, but that doesn't really change my shape. Critical announcement. I am just so sick of your bullshit, Creality. If the Raptor series scanner is not identified in the IR camera and depth camera drive, show a warning with an exclamation mark in device manager. Please uninstall the window. What the fuck? Dude, this is too much for me. If the speed knob is over the blinking light 3 times, turn around in a circle and uninstall this driver. But if it's 2 times, make sure to go through the 3rd hallway and scanning frame rate 49 FPS, 20 FPS, GTX 1080. It's actually a 1080 FTW, but I guess it is a GTX 1080. That is just one of the hurl the lever of embrayage. That's that Top Gear. How do I know all your references? Jeez Louise, man. It's like I can't reference a song without you knowing it. And I know that episode of Top Gear. That's the Mercedes, or no, before Mercedes did sort of unified car controls. And so there were all these insane controls over one of these sort of buggy cars, these original sort of mad cars. That was a fun episode where, marking the start of the Top Gear presenters becoming parodies of themselves. That was sort of the beginning of that process of them starting to just become parodies of themselves. All right, so this is where it shows you all of the scanners that you don't have. Please select the scanner model. The good one, the okay one, or the dumpy one that is the only one you can afford. Yeah, that's the one I have. Wait, why are you pulling that up? I have to plug it in, I think. All right, so let's plug this thing in. They make a scanner for ferrets. Well, the hard part is holding them still, but I mean, you can still scan them. Yeah, this is the Ferret SE, the special edition Ferret. It comes with a little cute little tripoded sort of holding handle, and it comes with a bunch of the little dots. Let me go get the dots. Let me get the dots. I'm gonna get the dots. I'm gonna get the dots. Let me get the dots. I peeled off a giant sticker on the top. That's why there's crap up here. It has one of these stickers on the top that's not a it was a QR code to download the software, and I didn't want that to be on the top of the scanner, and so I peeled it off thinking that it was just going to be a plastic sticker, but it turned out to be kind of an evil plastic sticker that doesn't peel up properly, which is it's always great to have. I love, you love it. I got a bunch of these little dots on sheets. You can buy more of these sheets, but these are to put on something randomly in order to give the scanner something to kind of ground itself in. So this is a little handheld device. It has sort of the webcam style front, which looks very familiar to my webcam. It looks kind of just like the whatever this thing is, the Logitech Brio. Logitech Brio has a lot of stuff that's like useless on the front of it. It's got like an infrared scanner in order to do like Face ID stuff. Face ID. Boy, I wonder if this thing could do 3D scanning. It's got two cameras after all. Got two cameras next to each other and a little infrared illuminator, but I don't think this does one of those like scatter Starfield things like the Kinect does, like the CR scan does. But I don't know, maybe the Brio could do a little bit of rudimentary scanning. This thing, however, does have that sort of spread optic. So it's got two cameras for sort of time of flight measurement. I don't know what the hell that thing is, but then it's got the infrared emitter right next to, or right in the middle. So this projects a star field, and it's got accelerometers and stuff in order to make sure that it knows where it is, because it knows where it isn't. But yeah, you can scan stuff with this. You can either have the subject move, or you can have this thing move. We may try both, because I have a turntable. We built one a while back. So I've tested this sort of a little bit. I've gotten like 1 or 2 scans out of it, and then it kind of sat collecting dust to the point where I put it back into the foam. This foam is going to live in the drawers over there. Have it vibrate. Okay, there. So, what else about this thing? Yeah, there's a USB-C connection on it, and it's one of the ones that I covet. It's one of the ones that I would like to have on my stream setup, on the cameras for streaming, because I have USB-C on this camera. There is a Kurokesu aluminum shell that you can get for the camera. We were going to like modify my camera to be in an aluminum shell, and that way it would be sort of a little bit smaller and more robust, and it would have a screw-in USB-C. So there would never be an instance where I knock the cable and have it unplug. I need that for the microscope, because this is a terrible USB mini. I need to modify this to be on a, oh boy, it's dusty. I need to modify this to be a USB-C, and then also a screw-in USB-C. There were, somebody posted, I think it was in the Discord, there's a USB-C with like the little screw-in sides, and it was this nice flush-mounted connector. I need to buy one of those, because that'll go in here very nicely. Oh, neat, I want one. How good does it work? I don't know. I just bought this damn thing. So, USB screw connector on the side. I don't think they intended for these to be used by humans, even though this is a grip. It's so close to the rest of the connector that I can barely get to it. Now, the screw-in USB-C is vital, because if you're scanning stuff that's big, you're actually going to be moving this thing around it instead of moving it around this thing. So having this connection here and possibly having an extension on this cord can help you to scan big stuff. I've seen Superfast Matt used it for the front of his car. He says it's good to have a couple 3D scanners, but I don't know, his budget is huge. It's not like I can afford the other models of these or other competitor models of these things. So we're stuck with this. We're going to see what it does, and whether or not it's a disappointing purchase. I think it'll be good though. I think we'll get good use out of it. I've used it like twice.
The scans were okay. They were pretty bad. But if we use this thing properly, we might get good scans out of it. So what we're going to try to do is put it against like a turntable and see if that gets it working. So I'm going to plug this thing into USB-C. The only USB-C I have left on this computer is probably the front panel thing that we never did the 3D design for. I still need to design like a panel to go right here so that we can have the USB connectivity on the front of my computer without it being kind of terrible as it is right now. But anyway, let me plug this thing in. And hopefully the software comes to life. Oh, I have a giant piece of test equipment in the way. These things showed up here at the shop. I've got 2 of these things, these Tektronix. They smell like a shed, but we'll have to take a look at these. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, these giant rack panel things, because these pieces of equipment might be useful around here, but they have sat in a shed for 20 years. So they're pretty cool, but we'll have to see. They were from my old university. A buddy of mine helped move the labs, and they didn't want big pieces of test equipment. So a lot of people got to snatch up some nice stuff at the time. Again, 20 years ago. All right, plug it into USB without blowing up my stream computer. Bonk. Do we still get frames? We still get frames. It didn't blow it up. It didn't sap up all the power. Let's see if the thing itself heats up. Connected via USB 3, it says. And let's... Oh, can I make this? Yeah, I can window this. All right, good. This is a very fancy looking program. I wonder if I could use this thing as a webcam. I could have a little 3D bother. All right, so let's check out this scanner, huh? Now, what are we gonna take a look at first? I mean, what are we gonna scan? I guess I need to bring in something that we can take just a quick scan of and see what it looks like. So let's try this thing. I'll stream the 3 dimensions, yeah. No more shall we be limited by these 2 dimensions. We will incorporate a 3rd, finally. We could scan that, right? That should be all right. So let's start a new project. Project name. My butt itches. Okay. Object, normal, face and body. What's the wait? Face and body. What does that do? Huh? If I could 3D scan myself and then send it to Rabaz so he can put a likeness of me in the game. There's an important difference between scanner and scammer. Yeah, one the other one yeah, it's a very different word. Size: large, medium, small. 150 by 150 to 250 by 250. So 250 by 250 is a 3D printer bed, which I happen to have because I was having troubles with reflections and stuff. So I got my 3D printer babe in order to create a matte, flat surface. And then I lost it. Where did it go? It's over here. And then I lost it. And then I lost it. There we go. So this is just a matte 3D printer bed glass. So I guess I could put that down like that and then have sort of a 310, I think. I think it's 300 by 300. It's like 310 by 310 for the CR10S bed. This bed. So we're small. We're definitely small. Features: geometry, texture, marker. We're not using markers. Texture, what's that mean? I've never used the software before, by the way, so. Bed like bed bananas? In geometry mode, surface and regularly shaped objects will cause tracking loss during scanning. If the object does not have rich texture feature, it's recommended to use marker mode after randomly pasting markers on the surface. We're going to try it like this. I need to go to bed. It's what, 4 o'clock in the morning over there? I never know. It's like 12 plus hours. In what city was that again? God damn it, it's not Perth. You're on what, the east side? It's either east or west. I know you're not in the middle because life cannot survive there. This is me forgetting what part of Australia my cousin is in. Brisbane. Okay, Brisbane. I gotta remember that. I'm sorry that I don't remember things. My brain doesn't work so good. We're trying out the CR scanner, and while I would love to get a scan of Willow, she doesn't sit still. We're gonna try to just scan whatever I've got sitting in front of me, because for the steering wheel game controller project, I would like to make my own airbag cover. So this was, because I'm so easy to shop for the holidays, I bought myself a 3D scanner. And so we're gonna try it, and hopefully I didn't waste several $100s on this thing. That's sort of what we're doing today. It's a nice break from doing circuit boards. Belly Arms is a great that's a great screen name. How much is 200 something I think in the end. Yeah, so anyway, we're trying this out. This isn't really the first time I've done this before, like a turntable that I could use, and maybe we can get a good scan of this thing. I can bring the giant steering wheel project over here, and we can get that bevel off of the wheel. There's only a couple screws that hold it on, and then I've got the bevel fully accessed. It's shiny. It might have trouble scanning, so I might have to spray it with chalk spray, not chalkboard, chalk spray. It's a piece of plastic, so I can chalk spray it, scan it, wash it off in the sink. That's the idea. Disable flat base. So what this does is it detects where the flat base is, and it throws it out. Might scan better on the wheel so it has more reference. I'm only interested in one single surface of the thing, and if I'm going to spray it with chalk, I'm going to do that off of the wheel. Putting it back maybe would help, but well, I mean, we'll see. Let's see. So disable the flat base. Cool, great, wonderful. Scan. So is this already scanning? I forget how to use the software already. We've got a play button in the corner, and then over here we've got our sort of status. How is my computer doing with all of this? Not great. I saw a couple frames drop there. So it's like a Duran Duran music video. It's da 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 on planet Earth. Da da da. What is okay? So we got an interesting little infrared view of the thing. What does it look like over here? Hold on. Can we see the infrared coming out of it? Now my notch filter is too good, but I mean that little sparkly thing is what's making a bunch of little points of infrared. Insufficient data. So I'm not hitting record yet. We haven't really officially started scanning. I'm just taking a look at what this thing is kind of capable of. What do these look like in the... Oh yeah, it's keying into all these. So like instantly knows where it is. Well, I'm gonna put these out of view. And I maybe we should, locking this thing down might be important because this is like, oh, look at that bar. I didn't notice the bar before. So move closer, good, optimal. I'm moving the camera back slowly, the scanner back slowly. So now it just says, yeah, everything's got to move closer. Here's good. Here's optimal. Still good. And then it's like, get out of my face. So that's about the distance that I want to be. This is fairly noisy data coming off of this thing. I mean, it is a slightly shiny object. And we're certainly not getting great detail. It kind of swings around too. And I've got little, what are those reflecting pieces of metal? The little tabs on the front of the camera are highlighted in red. All right, well, let me just see if I hit play on this thing, if I can get a scan of it. So I'm just going to slowly get around this thing, keeping it in good status. I guess I have to go full 360. I've always wondered how well these things work. Yeah, this is on a fairly limited computer that is also streaming, so there's a bit of an issue possibly with it. But let's just see what it can cook up. Oops.
There we go, over here. Looking at this thing. And I've got it on a Creality printer bed with gaffer's tape on that in order to make it sort of stand out, or to make it blend, to make the flat surface blend. All right, so let's it stop. Oh wait, did it stop for me? I thought I hit play. Complete scan. Please scan a non-planar object. What the hell, man? Hey, I thought I hit go. I thought I hit go. So yeah, we're trying to keep all of the little points in sort of the optimal range, right? So that means being about a foot away. How far away am I? Just so I can tell you guys. Something like 150 millimeters. A little bit below, maybe like 100 millimeter. So if I hit play on this, and I don't know why it didn't start before, now everything is going to get slow. Yeah, the whole computer is tracking lost. Please return to previous scan area. Where was the previous scan area? There we go. It gives you a little guide to it. Careful now. Carefully. Carefully. Careful. It's building up a cloud of things. Whoa. Okay. All right. All right. I know. I hear you. I hear you. So try to recreate that image. I think the slowness of the computer is working against it. Where is it? We're about here. There we go. Tracking immediately lost. Son of a bitch. Let's just see what we got. Let's hit stop and just see what it builds for us. It's going to be fairly incomplete. Click something to process the results automatically with default settings. What's that? Wait. Oh, this over here. Let's just do the one-click process. Sure, do your thing. Let's take a look. What have you done? Won't it be easier to put the scanner down and rotate the map? That's what I'd like to try next, yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I've always wondered how these things work, too. We did a whole set of streams where I tried to use photogrammetry. I tried using all of the different tools. We tried to use Connect. A bunch of different... Is this our scan? Look at this detailed object. Oh my God, it's perfect. Wow. What an amazing scan I have of this thing. Oh boy. Okay, so we gotta work on this a little bit. Did this? Oh, this froze. Ship it. The memory became a little bit more rare, and Chrome decided to park the chat. So I need to actually refresh that window. Hold on, let me get you guys back. I mean, if I do this and then go back over here. Yeah, that didn't refresh. Okay. Need more light and less blank surface. Well, yeah, this isn't a particularly easy to scan object. Actually, you could make a 3D model for this faster. Makotronics for 77 months. Makotronics, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Am I up to date? Yeah, I'm up to date. We had a Code Rush raid with a bunch of people. We had Project 454 give 100 bits, and then right as the cherry on top, Makotronics resubbed for 34 months, saying evening had a slight pancake making incident. Yes, this is my pancake. This is the 3D scan. It's a perfectly modeled coffee stain. Yes. Yes, I should send this to Coffee Stain. Hey guys, I built this 3D model for you for your next game. It's a little bit of puke on my desk. All right, so back to the drawing board. How do I go back to the drawing board? How do I tell it that this is abysmal and that it should be destroyed?
Can it. Just can the whole thing and just get it out of here. Close the current project. Yes, very much yes. My butt itches. Let's open my butt itches again. Delete this. Delete it. How do I delete it? Optimization. See, all of these things assume that I've actually produced some type of a scan and that I'd love to share it. Yeah, let's share it on their website. Delete. Yes. Oh, that feels better. Wait, what am I supposed to do now? So it seems to assume that this project has gotten to the point where all I want to do is process it. There we go, new scan. Call it the same thing. Disable the flat base. Accuracy, I guess we're giving it high quality. And we're still trying just the thing. So let's let me get the turntable and let's see if we can implement a turntable and see if we can get a better scan. And maybe we'll have to get a different object to scan, something that'll scan a little bit more easily. But we're going to take ourselves out of the equation. And so for that, let me go get this thing. This is a machinist's turntable, so it's heavy. It's not just like a bearing. I actually do have a bearing that we could possibly try. But what I've got hooked up to this thing. Oh my God, this thing is heavier than I forgot how heavy this thing is. Oh, so much dog hair. This thing has been sitting on the floor for a little while, collecting dust. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. 75 degrees, 92% humidity. It's been 10 degrees here. I got into my car and I posted it on the Discord, but I got into my car and it was 10 degrees and I had to heat up the whole car, but I didn't do it the day it snowed. So there was a whole bunch of ice that I had to get off of the car in order to drive anywhere. It's cold here. Time to sleep in my sweat. Good luck. Godspeed. It's been great sleeping weather actually here. Scan the hand, flipping the bird. We might. It's got a glass base on it though. I haven't felt 10 degrees weather in 5+ years. It's something else. This is kind of like a record for us around here. We've had like very mild winters the past couple of years, so I finally got to see the corgi playing in the snow. She loves snow just about as much as I do. She was doing zoomies out there. I never thought, because I'm in the minority. Nobody else likes cold weather. I enjoy it very much. All right, powering up the Agilent power supply because we have a simple universal DC motor on this turntable. Hopefully those are not going to interfere with one another. What I can do is just put a voltage through this and it will slowly spin us around. And that hopefully will give us the ability to get a scan from this thing. Yeah, all right, we'll catch you later. Thank you for stopping by in the middle of the goddamn night. It's not early in Australia. See, my Z-axis is not quite large enough for the weird little tripod that they gave us with this thing. I have other little tripods that I can use. Maybe I've got something flat that I can put on that thing. There we go. I'll make it a little wider. That didn't do anything. That's the same size. That's the same size. Do I have like a... Here we go. This'll do. This is technically a grit surface, 400 grit, but that'll... Oh, it's like just the right size. Kind of piecing it together. Okay, and so I need test leads. Let me get test leads. Test leads. The testiest of leads, indeed. I guess we'll do the modular synthesizer ones. Because I These take the plus and minus supply. We're only going to use the plus supply on this. What am I getting caught up in? I feel tension on my microphone cord. There we go. It's because I got the giant heavy piece of test equipment sitting next to me. Okay, so these guys over here, let's just get plus minus. We'll go over to we'll do +6 supply. And the middle lead, I'm just not even going to use. Let me get this out of the way so I can hook it up. And the problem with this thing is it's all under the scan bed, and I hope this clears. It looks like it's fairly close. So maybe I can shove something under there if I need to. And I guess what I could do is put adhesive on this and then put the glass piece on top, but then they would be adhered, as is implied by adhesive. Now this is a little DC gear motor. This is like a cheapo gear motor and an old shelf. An old IKEA shelf. This is the kind of ingenuity that we bring to the table here on this stream. +6 volt, power on, and then let's pull up the voltage slowly. Hmm. 4 volts? 5 volts. There we go. Nice and slow. Okay. You know, this thing isn't geared and I didn't tension it anytime soon. So this needs a little bit more tension in order to work this. Wow, it needs a lot more tension. I mean, I could put a little roller on there. If I've got a rubber band, I could put 2 rollers on a rubber band on it. Or I can move this thing over. Does it... Those screw holes are not going to accommodate. My kingdom for some tension. Let me see what I can do here. We need to make a tensioner for this, which means I need to get this bin over here, where all of my motor stuff is. It's back behind this. And I need some kind of a tensioner roller, which I think I had something sitting around here. Here, let me bring this over. We'll take a look at what I got. I have all kinds of motion stuff. Ugh. This stuff is all so heavy. Put this, my replacement mat that I haven't gotten around to putting in. I bought, these are getting expensive now actually, these mats, these very big mats. But the one that I have here is all messed up. So I want to replace it, but everything's on top of it right now. So this is where I've got my extremely expensive and high quality motor controller. This thing down here, the Granite Devices Universal Motor Controller, along with a bunch of drag chains and stuff. This might have my tensioner. These plates I bought in as a mistake. They were for burn the subs. A lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't have purchased in this drawer, in this bin rather. But we also have these tensioners. These are for belts. I don't think that's really going to be useful for us unless I was able to somehow position it. Possibly, but I think what I really need are just rollers. And rollers are, I guess, in a different drawer. Yeah, this is all that stuff. Okay, hold on. I got a different bin. That's this one over here. And this stuff. Way back here. There's a bin that's full of only mechanical stuff. This is water cooling stuff. It's down here. These are screws. Listening to audio only must be kind of a trip on this stream. Just struggle noises over and over again. That ain't the mechanicals. Where'd my bin go? One of these bins around here is all... Oh, you know what? Maybe it's actually way over here. Oh yeah, I see it. I seen it. Right there. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get the thing. Then we're gonna build. We're gonna make this thing work by tensioning the belt just a little bit. There they are. There's all my rollers. All the Delrin goodness. So the most basic tensioner is simply a rubber band between 2 rollers on the 2 sides of that belt there. So
I guess what I can grab are, if I've got any of the smooth metal pulleys, those would work out nicely. Where are they? Wait a minute. All I have are these big ones. These might be a little too thick. Where'd all my, like, tensioners go? That's weird. I had some smooth rollers. I don't know what happened to them. So either, I mean, if I fixed that there and had it push upwards, that would also work. But I don't know if I have something that'll push upwards. I do have some custom little things that I built here that could possibly give us some kind of a tensioner. Here's sort of a prototype. So if I position this on my block of wood, that's getting in the way. But I need something on that. I need like a spring on that. Sorry, Speedy. I don't have a ferret to scan. I had a roommate that had a ferret in college, and those are hard to own. Ferrets are, they're goofballs. They're complete goofballs, and I love them to death, but boy howdy do they smell. They are smelly little guys. So this is all stuff that I built previously, and I was working on making like a tensioner roller for Burn the Subs. But we can use it on this thing if I can spring it properly, if I can get sprung. I thought I had a bunch of smooth pulleys that were the right size, but saving that for Ferret Fridays. What's up, Speedy Cat? How you doing? Speedy Cat's been working on a pretty intense setup. It's good to see progress on it. I love seeing it. Yeah, I don't know what happened to all my tension rollers. These are all the 3D printer rollers over here. I wonder if I tossed them or if they're in the other bin. They might be in the other bin. Maybe at the bottom of that bin. Roommate in college had an armadillo? I guess it was one of the ones that doesn't carry rabies, right? Yeah, the light fell over. That's all right. Everything on it can be, attached again. No biggie. Just a little studio malfunction. I'm going to move this giant piece of test equipment over there where it's out of the way. We'll look at these tomorrow. I've got 2 of these things. These old Tektronix racks. They're pretty awesome. This thing is like a tank. It's so heavy. But there might be a couple little pieces of test equipment that we'll be able to clean up and maybe utilize in the future. I've got an arbitrary function generator in the other one. So anyway, back to this bin. I'm looking for tensioner rollers, which are smooth rollers. I don't know where they got to, because I know I have them. I know I got them. They might be at the bottom of this drawer. Well, here's a spring. Maybe we could use that spring. Let me grab that spring. Grab that spring! Guards! If we can use this to lower that arm, maybe. No, there's no rollers in here. Only the big ones. And a couple of the motor mounts. These are good to have. These little motor mounts, because you can buy these little geared motors, as you see in front of you, and produce things like tensioned turntables. We're trying to automate the thing spinning so that we can get a scan of it. I could have sworn I bet you there's a bin somewhere that has a bunch of those rollers in it. Because I know I have a kit of those smooth rollers, and for some reason it did not end up in this. This one is all the toothed stuff and some of the work that I did on making a tensioner, but none of the oh, you know what? I mean, these will come back for BTS, but for right now we're doing a turntable. I bet you they're down here. If we can do just the simplest of tensioner rollers, which is just a rubber band between two of the little spinny majigs, then we'll be in good shape. And I know I've got stuff around here somewhere. We've been doing this stuff for quite a while, so the sources of stuff come from many different bins. Stuff comes from many different bins. There we go. Sorry. My brain sometimes works. Here's a couple. All right, we might be able to utilize these. Let's put this over here. We don't have to use the complicated arm that I built so many years ago. We can just take a rubber band, if I've got one, and put it between two of these Jiminy Bojangles, these Jim Johns. And just build a rudimentary tensioner to hold this thing. So this and this would just sit here against one another. This is something that an old kinetic sculpture guy taught me back in the day, back in 2011 when I went to Burning Man. The question is, are these still rubber bands? Ah, it's still a rubber band. It's still a rubber band. I'd love a smooth auto turntable for Mushroom compiles. That's what we're trying. Trying anyway. Let's see what we can do in regards to that. In regards. Now I guess what I'm going to do is just loop through both of them. Ooh, that's going to be hard to do. No, it's not. That's going to be quite easy. Yeah, doing something with like a stepper motor might be a better, you know, because then you're in control of how fast it's going and you can slow it way down. How am I going to attach these to each other? There's some kind of a knot that I don't know that I should be tying on this. Moved all of my old equipment into storage. New apartment is smaller, and I just don't have the space for 12 huge pieces of equipment. Ah, man. Yeah, I saw some of the apartment stuff that you was doing. Hopefully you can figure something out with that. I'm trying to attach a rubber band to itself, and I'm too stupid to know any of the like knots that I should know to do this. What if I just stick a pole through it? Just do that. Just give me this. Just do it like this, maybe. Maybe double it over. Is that going to interfere with the roller? Yes. Is it going to all fall apart as soon as I try it? Yes. Okay, hold on. Let's turn this off for a second. If it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. Sort of. Let's see. There's a bunch of tensioner stuff in here, but those are like spring tensioners. And I don't think this is going to really hold them at the right distance. It would be kind of cool if it does. The one that my friend had was two chain rollers, and he had a bungee cord between the two. This is a little bit out of scale for that. I mean, I could always do 2 bolts and then rubber band the bolts on either side. Are these the right size? Yeah, these are the right size. They're a little long, though. I guess I could do 2 of these. Hopefully it's stable. This is going to be very sort of stapled together, huh? So if I take 2 of the shorter ones, these are the only ones I have. These are from like drone stuff. These are totally in the wrong application, but is there anything in particular you're trying to scan? No, we're just getting our sea legs with this thing, with the scanner. That's a little tough to fit. There we go. All right, that's one. This will be the other one. And we'll take 2 rubber bands and I'll just wrap them around the 2 ends. So one end here. It's a little easier on me. Do three of them. It's going to be tough to put together. These stupid things that I'm doing. That'll eventually explode, won't it? Yeah, it will. Okay, hold on. I got to think about this a little bit. I know this is frustrating because it's like, should be way easier. How do you attach one end of a rubber band to itself when it's doubled over? Tie a knot. Clip it with something. I do not know how to do that. So like that. This. I mean, like, I could also put just like a screw in the bottom and then go up and around with one roller. Maybe we should do that. Let me find big bolts that I can screw onto this wood here. And then we just have a little alley-oop kind of thing. Maybe the self-tappers are awesome for sheet metal. You can use them right here. I got 3 bins full of self-tappers. I bought so many self-tappers because I'm like, yeah, self-tappers, let's go. And then I haven't needed them for like 3 years. So, more than that. So I need a 1/4 inch thingy-majig for the end here. It's not that size. What about you? What is you? Use the right thing. Perfect. That little auto screwdriver. Cool little thing it is. And just, this one's too tall actually. I need smaller. I need the smaller ones. I need it to be low because this shouldn't interact with it. So smaller self-tappers are question mark. Come on, where's the drawer? Somewhere in here. Oh, here we go. Just 2 of these. And hopefully it'll just put enough tension on it to enable us to keep this thing rolling. Because there's no, I mean, this is falling into just a smooth area on the inside here. I guess I could also move it to reach this knurled piece, but I think the knurled piece is just, no, that is the whole thing. See, I could have it do that, or I could potentially release this whole thing from the shaft and we could try to put a toothed belt on the shaft. But I'd rather not try to take that off. It's probably wedged on there pretty good. This is old. I bought it a long time ago. A mid-span sheet bend knot. There's no way I'm going to be able to tie that in this. There's no way. You guys have seen what I'm capable of, and it's mostly failure. Self-tapping sheet metal screws. Yeah! That was too far. There, that should hold pretty good. Is there any? Oh, we've already been over it. Yeah, I already read that comment. Let's get the wire out of the way. Wire out of the way. I should probably, what I should do is mount these terminals on the edge of this board here. If this board is just going to be my permanent turntable board. Damn it. We need something to position the, these are the wrong tweezers. These don't like stick in the thing. So, I mean, it looks like they do, but they don't. That almost proved me wrong. You didn't expect it to get funky like this today, but it got funky. Actually, do I need the second one? Can I just... I can't really get around the motor to anchor this. That'll be one here. Careful about that. And then the other one, yeah, just right in there. It needs to go right in here. And it's going to be tough to tension, but it should work pretty well. This is the advantage of having a sacrificial wooden block. Damn it! All right, I need to get something to hold that up. So I guess we'll use my medical forceps. These things are awesome. Love these things. There are more serious forceps. I should look into getting some, but these are like, they're kind of amazing when you're working on electronics. Like if you need to hold something, it's got the little locked tensioner on the one end. I've got 3 forceps and they're all good. I should probably have 4 forceps because it just sounds right. When your fingers are too big to get into stuff. All right, so now we need to pull that out a little bit. So we have something that the rubber band can get under and grip on. Pull this one out a little bit too. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we only need 1 roller. So it's going to be 1 roller and then a rubber band going up and over. My mom calls these roach clips. I mean, they are. They're probably pretty good at being a roach clip, to be honest, because they tension and hold. But they're good with electronics too, because they help you get into places that your fingers can't. And your typical roach clip is something like this, you know, a little alligator clippy. All right, and then we just run that to there. The problem is that my big fat fingers also can't get in there. So I have a little bit of trouble with this. Maybe run the rubber band first and then position the roller on. Because like that was easy, but this isn't. My mom says I'm cool. Actually, Mom does sound cool if she calls them roach clips. Ow, this is hurting my fingers. Listen, this is the first time that I've been caught in such an awkward situation, but we can definitely get out of this one a lot more smoothly than previous. There we go. Now, is that going to stay on? Not really. It looks like it's going to fall off, which is the sign of good engineering. Let's see what happens when I power this thing up. Fire it up. What I should have done is put power supply leads on the other end of this, but I guess I wanted it to be a little bit more transportable. I have like a barrel plug that I can plug into this thing. All right, so like that. Get this out of the way of the glass. Put it all the way over there. Turn it on. Oh yeah, we're tensioned, baby. Now is this going to pull itself apart? Am I going to have to modify this a little bit? Look at this elegant solution. This is engineering. God damn. Feels good to engineer something for once. This is typically the show is electronics, and in the past I have a full Red Bull under my belt right now, so I'm like tweaking. No, I have ADHD. Red Bull does nothing for me. It doesn't give me wings at all. It makes me feel like a normal person. No, it doesn't make me feel anything. What am I talking about? Anyway, point is, we've been doing a lot of work on the computer. We've been doing a lot of circuit board design, and a lot of that circuit board design does not involve cool little solutions to stuff like this. So it's nice to actually flex a little bit and do something weird and fun, make a little physical thing. Now, this is starting to rattle around. The question is that going to pop off? Because the rubber band on the other side here, you know, this wasn't very well positioned. So it looks like that's going to be the point of failure. Just that rubber band connection at the top there, that's going to pop out. Probably could move it back a little bit if I really wanted it to grip better. Or I could, I don't know, put a clip at the bottom. Or a rubber band around the bottoms to hold them this way. That would actually be kind of cute. But we've got enough tension that this thing is rolling. Now we give it a load. See if it blows up. It's a thing of beauty is what that is. That is a thing of beauty. Just brings a tear to my cold, dead engineer heart. Nice, slow movement so that my crappy computer can catch up with what's going on. Let me get the can out of here. Hold on. Now, let's actually scan something. So the thing that I'm going to scan, let's pull in the RC car project, so we can get a little bit more of the flavor of bother in here. RC car project is something that I've tried before. Fender washers on the screws. That would still allow it to pop that way though, wouldn't it? I do have washers that I could put on there. A femur. No, I'm not going to scan my own femur. We can scan the all-wheel drive Delta Monte Carlo Abarth. It's not, the real car is not all-wheel drive, but this one is, because it's an RC car kit that I spent a bunch of money on, and then we built, and I built it really, really well. I have all the DOS micro electronics on it and everything, and then I tried to find a body, and nothing really fit properly, so we did a little bit of AutoCAD work in order to core out a low poly model of this crazy, legendary Group B rally car. And you know, this thing was rear-wheel drive. The RC car is all-wheel drive. One thing that I can't really reconcile in the 3D model is the exact positioning of the wheels. So it would be kind of cool. Oh, this thing caught. It would be kind of cool to be able to 3D scan this thing and compare it to the model, which is all of this stuff anyway. I'm not sure if we'll fully accomplish that today, but I mean, we can try. So I can position this thing over here, hopefully at a good distance. My stream indicator light says I'm on air. This has been a really cool project, is getting that working with OBS. I think it's fully working now. I think when I stop stream, it will in fact go to green, and I can just put it over there. So slow, so smooth. Slow is smooth. Slow is fast. Smooth is fast. Francis Bacon. All right, so let's go back over to here, and let's put in all those scan settings. And it's still initializing. There it goes. So get that in a nice optimal position here. Make sure that it can do a full revolution and everything's nice and happy. It is picking up on that base a little bit. Why is it shaking so much in the scan? This is probably where the little random dots would come in handy. Of course, I don't know where exactly the center axis of this thing is. Oh, and this is still frozen. Let me update chat up here. Yeah, this is one of those little Creality scanners. Oh God, the memory. There's so little memory that my computer is like not updating these chat windows. That's the background. That's the one that I want to update, properties, and then I need to refresh the cache. You can see all the reflections, yeah. Test. I think on-screen chat is just broken for this. The computer, the USB-C is using up so much bandwidth that my OBS is now starting to, it's not dropping frames, but the cameras aren't giving it all the data, and then all of my Chrome windows are parking themselves in memory because it thinks that it's not focused. Hey, that worked. So let's see here. What? It gives me exposure and brightness, but I can't adjust it? Oh, I see. I have to turn it to manual. Is it not supposed to be red? So I'm going to go to this view so that I turn on that extra light. All right, we'll put this back to auto, and I'm going to go to this view so that this light turns on, and this thing has a little bit more to look at. Open up the barn doors a little bit. And let's give it one full revolution, I guess. One full revolution, and we'll see what we're able to do. So I'm just going to hit play on this because we're in a pretty optimal space. I mean, look, here, if I go, that's the wrong one. Here. Nope, here.
You can see we're pretty much statistically in the good zone. So I guess I'm gonna try it. There's a lot of issues with the shape, and we of course don't get the dome of this, but you know, we can figure something out later for that. Let's just see whether or not this gives us a good scan on a full revolution. So let's go from, I guess when the headlights are pointing towards me, I'll hit play. Boy, they are far from pointing towards me, aren't they? Where is this thing looking? Oh, it's been tweaked over to the side a little bit. It could be the cable pulling on it. Or it could have bumped something. All right, you keep that right in the middle. Right in the middle. And then when we're parallel to the camera, I'm going to hit play, and we'll let it go around once. Any second now. This thing is slow as hell. At least it's kind of consistent, though. All right, here we go. And go. This is going to like eat up all my other resources. Oh, and I need to go here so that we get the light on it. Doing okay. It's using up a lot of resources, though. Question is if this stuff's going to continue to be fast. That's looking like a pretty good scan, though. It's getting a lot of points of data. And it hasn't lost tracking yet. It's actually quite happy with the speed, which is very, very slow. But I guess if you're going to scan something, you might as well do it slowly. I can see that tensioner roller like bouncing around under there. I do have chalk powder, and I could use that if we really want, but I don't want to make a mess right now. As the wheel turns. I don't know if I have like a PC view that has this arm in it. That's going to be the wrong PC. That's the microscope's not really helping us out on that one. But if I do the other PC view, then it's going to turn off that extra light. And I want that light. I want that light to be on. So I guess we're going to view it like this. Let me see. Do I have a PC on here somewhere? Just have the stand cam, which is looking outside of the shop with the hopes that Willow will stop by. Let's see. Serial, microscope, scope, MS Paint. No, none of these are relevant. None of these are the PC view. Scanning. 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 I wonder how much junk data this is producing. Available memory, 5.7 gigs. It says 5.6, 5.7. Oh boy. Oh, I can hear the motor is struggling for some reason. Okay, it got over it. It got over it. It's still going. Please don't pop off. We need a whole nother revolution to get a good scan. Oh, it's shaking. Why is it shaking? I'm not even touching it. I'm nowhere around this thing. I'm not touching it. I'm letting it do its thing. It seems to be getting a pretty decent model, though, from what I can see. The spoiler is going to have a huge shadow to it. There's the model so far. It's there's a big missing chunk back here. So hopefully the scanner sees it, but that spoiler is going to, of course, cast a huge shadow on the remaining area. So, and then we'll see how much detail it gets from the rear over here. I'm not sure if we can use it to really map out the where the wheels are. Slowly spinning, 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 like this. This does seem to be the superior way to do it, though. We are getting much better data than what I got from the handheld scans. And obviously putting point markers on stuff will also yield me a better scan, but I'm trying to do it without it first. We haven't messed around with this very much. My bitrate is in the red for some reason. Probably because of all of the computer activity that's going on. Why is it shaking? It's shaking to the right and left a little bit as this thing goes through the scanning process. Here, you can see. It's just like jiggling back and forth a little bit. I'm not moving anything. I'm not touching anything. It is getting a good amount of detail, though. This is way better than what I was doing before. This is a much better scan. And we're staying within the green here in terms of the point cloud being a good distance. They're all within this sort of center part where they're not too far away and they're not too close. Boy, this is a, I mean, this is a process for sure. This is taking a while. And it looks like we have all of our data. I'm just going to let it go all the way until it's parallel again so that we are doing our due diligence. We are getting the right stuff. I'm giving this an actual try, and I'm not just, doing a little crappy job of it, and then I can complain about it. I'm not allowing that to happen. we're getting it. We're getting everything we need out of it. You can't say I didn't try. All right. It even got the bumps in the hood. Pretty good. So I guess we'll let it go at one pass. And that's about it. Let's just give it a little bit more of a chance. Get a little bit more data. And now I'm going to hit stop. Bonk. Complete the scanning. That ain't so bad. It messed up a little bit at the top. It didn't get a lot of the detail at the top. And of course, we don't get anything beyond what it can see because we didn't go at any different angles. But that's a pretty good scan. Here, let me move the camera. I'm going to keep the turntable going just because it's funny. Look at that point cloud. I mean, in terms of getting the outer edges of the wheels in relation to the body, that could be pretty useful. I mean, I could see that becoming pretty useful. So, I mean, we can process this. We can post-process it and see what comes out the other end. That's the raw scan. Let's do a one-click process. Default parameters. I'm just going to let it do its thing. The turntable's still turning. Don't sleep or hibernate your computer. Uh-oh. Is it going to take up all my computer cycles? Very slow right now. Please stand by while the slowness infects my computer. I bet you the next time I pull out this turntable, that rubber band will have turned into dust. I wonder how much processor the computer is being... I probably need to get a new streaming computer, to be honest. It's just powerful enough to do the streamy stuff. But we are getting a model. Oh, I can't mess with the model right now. Yeah, it's shut down all of my chat windows. I didn't even know the chalk powder comment was the latest one, and it's dead. What kind of PC is processing this? My streaming computer. It's like a probably a couple Intel generations behind. I think it's a 3 gigahertz. It's a little more, maybe it's better than that. I forget. But I mean, we can look at the computer specs later. We'll say, hold on, my computer. Oh, everything's very slow right now. This PC. Move this to the other window. Oh no, that's not the right one. Properties on that. Oh boy, right clicks takes a little while. Come on, bud. It's still just a gear. It's just a gear. It hasn't loaded yet. Tell me what you are, computer. I built this one a while ago because I had an issue with a memory stick going bad on my old stream PC, which was my old gaming PC. But when the old streaming PC died, it's like, I'm partnered with Twitch. I really need to fix this PC tomorrow. So I had to go to Micro Center and I had to buy a whole new generation of hardware because the gaming PC, the old gaming PC, had gotten into that level of computer where everything got really expensive to replace because, you know, you implement a system on a computer, that generation goes to the past, everything, the cost drops of those parts until they become rare enough that the cost goes way back up. So you run into this thing where you try to buy a PC part and it's like $1,000 because they just don't have them anymore. So this is, let's see, Intel Core i5 7600, 3.8 gigahertz, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a GTX 1080. It's a 1080 FTW. It's an EVGA card, but it's water cooled. It's all in a rack-mounted water-cooled enclosure. Get a 5090 to process it. I don't know about that. There's no purpose in buying a 5090. There really isn't. Meshing, 68%. Don't sleep or hibernate your computer. Got this turntable slowly turning. As the table turns. These are the days of your turntable. So yeah, chat on screen doesn't work until this thing is done. Because it's using most of the RAM of the system and most of the processing cycles. And so Chrome is like, all right, you can have it. I don't need that processing cycle. And so it parks a bunch of its pages. Unfortunately, I guess I could probably do something to tell it not to do that for the chats. I haven't figured that out because it hasn't been an issue until I use a bunch of processing on a mesh. We gave that every advantage, and there's still a lot of holes in that mesh. I mean, those I don't know what it's doing in terms of processing, but those empty portions are a little bit strange. I can't click and drag that. Okay. I guess you can see it kind of filling it in. Wait, it's stuck at 68. Is it still doing stuff? Yeah, it is. It's still doing stuff. Whatever we do, we can't sleep or hibernate the computer. I have a whole kit of springs. What am I doing here? Wait a minute. I have a whole kit of springs. I could probably have put an anchor down here and run a spring up to that. Where's that kit? I'm going to find my springs. Is it a requirement to make it slower, or you just wanted best quality? Well, I mean, it's just going the speed that I can control it. I don't have, it's a universal DC motor on a gear reduction. I don't have a lot of control over what that motor is doing, other than giving it different voltages. So I just ran it at what seemed like in a decently slow speed. Turns out it is pretty slow. And in using the scanner, it seemed to lose its position very easily. Hold on, I got a whole kit of springs. What am I doing with this rubber band here? Rubber bands go bad. The rubber gets hard. It is color mapping right now. Boy, that's not something I needed to do. Use a microwave or a record player. Well, I mean, you know, yeah, use that if you really want to. Why would I go get a microwave or a record player when I've got something right here that's doing the job? All right, so it's still color mapping. It's going to take its sweet time to do that. And I don't know if we can get this into Fusion 360. Yeah, look, fast spinning is not really that's not the solution. I mean, I could run a bolt through and then have a spring on either side, but maybe that wouldn't be enough. Like that, the tension would have to be even in order for that to work. Like if I do one of these on each side. Which one is this? This one's a slightly larger one. I mean, that would almost want the little arm that I made. deglass the microwave, put the model inside, and run defrost. You guys don't think. You guys just don't think. You know, you got to get a certain amount of distance on this thing in order for it to work properly. Where are you going to control that? Boy, if that wasn't so tight, this would be perfect. If it was a little bit more loose, because then I could attach both ends and just have it like that. But I mean, one of these on each side of that roller, it'd probably pop off, wouldn't it? Well, I can put a bolt through and have a washer. Like this. So that would be like that, and then a washer and a bolt on the other side. Of course, I don't have a, well, yeah, I do. Hold on. Yes, you do. Yes, I do. Now, do I have a lock washer? So that would be another one of these on the other side. I need to find exactly the same spring. We're doing it! We're engineering! By God, he's engineering! And dropping things on the floor, of course. God damn it. Where did that go? Here's this. Here's this. Where did the washer go? The washer's gone. Oh no, it's right here. And then I need a lock nut. I have a whole kit of lock nuts. Let me go get a lock nut. Get a lock nut, he said. He says to me, he says, get a lock nut. That's what he says to me. I am losing my mind a little bit. I'll be all right. Lost it before. Let's see. That's just clips. Where did my lock nuts go? I had a big kit of them. I got sick of not having... Oh, I think they're over here. Sick of not having the right stuff, so I bought a big kit of lock nuts. Yeah, here it is. All the way down here. These little hardware kits are great. I order them with complete abandon because you never know what kind of hardware you're going to need for a weird thing like what we're doing today. What is that? This is weird. Hold on. Oh, I got to address this light. It's all messed up. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay, here's a 3D model. Check it out. So the color mapping got my marker windshield pretty well. I mean, if I were to put this in like a crappy game, it would look kind of right, like as something that sits on a shelf. That's pretty neat. Oh my God. Maybe that's what I was thinking about the whole time. Like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Blah. That's pretty accurate. So we'll in a minute we'll look at how to save this. I want to put springs on the tensioner here so that this setup, this turntable with a motor setup that I have, doesn't go bad, because the spring will go bad. Or sorry, the what do you call it? The rubber band will go bad. I would rather have springs tensioning this. And we've got all we need to make that happen. So I just need to find an M, whatever this thing is. I bought these shoulder bolts specifically for these rollers. So if we just find this little guy right here, it's perfect. So now we slip our spring on. We get our spring on. Actually, what I should do is attach these down there first, and then pull this thing up and then put the two ends together. So let's do that. And then I need this thing again. On planet Earth. I keep bashing my microscope with stuff. Oh God, I need to refresh these chats. They're all these windows have been parked. So let's do that, and then chat overlay, properties, and hit refresh. Okay, all right, chat should work. You guys should be on screen now. Where did the battery go? I took it out and I meant to charge it, but I didn't put it in the charger. I put it aside. There it is. I don't know how much charge we got left on this thing. This doesn't have an indicator on it. That's all right. Should be enough. Getting in here is going to be the problem. And then where's my tensioner? There it is. I'm going to do it like this with the bolt facing forward. Oh, we got to use the forceps again. I'm running out of room on this desk. Every time we do a project, it like pushes me away. Why do you have to push me away? Cleaning up that test equipment is going to be very annoying. I think that's what we're going to do tomorrow. It depends on, you know, what I really feel like doing in the end, but this is only one loop of the thing. I hope that holds properly. Get that in there. Can't find the hole. Where is it? Yep. I can tighten that down a little bit too, so it'll hold. And we'll do this one. So this I can finally leave under the desk until I need it again. If anybody wants to leave a comment to let me know that my chat works on screen. Chat gets kind of quiet sometimes, and it's fine, but that's fine, because we're kind of a chill stream, kind of. When I'm not yelling at chat or whatever I'm working on, or that's pretty good. So that'll give it just a little bit of tension. Let's get that up here. Come on. Give me this. Give me this. Don't let that bolt slide out. There we go. Up and around. And then we get the washer on there. Those will hold that thing down. And then this thing has a bearing internally, so it'll be able to tension properly. And I need a hex key and something that's the size of this bolt. So hex keys I've got on the magnet hanger. Magnet hanger hex key. Activate. I could use needle nose pliers on it. I don't think this is the right size. No, it's too small. Too small. What about this one? Hey, there we go. Thank you, Dutchmania. So that is working. Good, good, good. Good to hear. This is, I need a thing for this. Hold on. I have an entire set of thingy-majiggies. What am I looking for? Oh, well, I guess I could go for these. This one is what, 6? No, it's like 8. What did wait, I grabbed it from here. M4? What is it? What is an M4 head? That's way bigger than 4. Yeah, it's like, it's not 7, is it? Oh my God, it is 7. Dear God, it's 7. You know what 7 did to 9. Oh my God. This is the worst way to do it. I have a ratchet, but it's in a different part of the tool bin. And my laziness is overriding the amount of work that this becomes, which is weird because it would be less work to go into the wooden tool bin and grab the appropriate ratchet. And ratchets are significantly faster than manual. And I would have been done this already. But here I am, tensioning this thing by hand. It's making little guitar noises. I don't know when this will stop tensioning. Oh, just about there. There we go. So I can loosen that just a little bit beyond that so it doesn't cramp the... No, the roller isn't rolling, so I need to back it off until the roller rolls. The only problem with this is that one side is going to have a little bit more tension than the other, and it's going to pull to one side. It's not going to be an even amount of tension. if I'm not careful. Let's see how it does. It's shit. It's all shit. It all broke down. Everything's broken. I need more tension on this side. Oh, my scanner. Let's put the scanner somewhere safe until I can utilize it again. I'm just going to move this out. How far away is that one? That's like over here. I guess I can go like here. Hopefully that's going to pull it into the roller though. It needs to be out from the roller. So I guess I'll go out this way a little bit. Okay. Self-tappers are awesome. How's that going to do? Hopefully that stays on target. I don't know. It needs to actually roll, and it needs to actually just hold a little bit of tension and not walk away. It needs more tension than that. I need to move it back even further. What's up, Neano Cat? How you doing? Is that spinning? It should be going all the way down. Well, I guess that's all right. It really needs a lot of tension to hold on there, doesn't it? I mean, that's doing okay, but it is listing over to the side because for some reason this one is much more taut. Maybe they're not the same spring. I could find a slightly more tensiony spring for the other side. Maybe that's the solution. All right, well, I got to undo the whole thing in order to make that a reality. Does this one hold harder if it's about the same. I guess that's working though. Not great for machining, but it is good for this. I mean, really, like putting a tooth belt on this side would be the solution to this. I don't know how I get this off though. I think maybe over here there might be a thing that I can remove and then I can take the whole knob off. But I really don't want to do that. I want to keep this intact because the rotary table might come in handy for actually machining something, in which case I'll need to, rotate it manually and have it function again. So this silly little thing that I'm putting together here is just for sort of a temporary solution. Although to be fair, the rubber band worked a lot better, didn't it? Whatever. I've improved it. Pray I do not improve it again. Now, the thing that I really want to scan is a lot larger than the turntable. Well, it's not a lot larger, but it is larger than the turntable. I think I can still kind of set it up the same way, though. I don't know what it's for, but it's janky enough. We're just trying to tension that roller so that I get a slow rotation so that we can scan three-dimensional objects with the CR scan ferret. And if I move it slow, I get a pretty decent scan. I mean, we scan this thing, and it's looking pretty good. Although that's with the color textures over top of it. Without the color mapping on top of it, the mesh is a little bit rough. It's decent though. And I'm wondering if I can pull this into Fusion and compare it to the, whoa, that one went crazy. Compare it with the positions of the wheels to what I have in Fusion 360. So let's open up Fusion 360. Let's see what we get. FUS, F-U-S. And then I get Autodesk Fusion. This computer is going to eat itself. And I need to export this somehow. let's see. Most of the stuff is like editing of surfaces. It's going to be fairly, I mean, like, yeah, I could probably go through all the settings and like make this really, really good. I don't know how super duper good I can make it. Oh, I need to refresh this chat. This amount of rustness is better than I expected for something so small. Yeah, it's a very small thing that we've scanned. The tensioner is somehow still working. I was thinking that I might have to tap the aluminum to have these springs be on the swinging arm that I made. This does need a little bit more tension though. I don't know how I can, I need like a little clip on this. Okay, so I would like to export this. Let's do an STL. I'm just going to put it on the desktop. How big is it going to be? Doesn't tell me. Car scan. Save that. Desktop. Was that 53 megabytes? 52 megabytes. That's a big scan. Let's go to the RC car model. Oddly enough, the folder's open. That's weird. Atomic SC2, we've got some work on car bodies in here. Lancia models, blah, blah, blah. Where do I have it? SC2 body mounts. So this is the Lancia 03 something or other. Yeah, the download icon. I didn't notice that. Why chat is not updating up there? It's my computer is like out of memory. Dropping frames, everything's crazy. There you go. You can see the roller going nuts. So this is the model that I was working off of in order to build the car that you see in front of you. I took a low poly model for the Lancia 37, the Abarth version of it, the consumer sold rally car that only like 200 some odd were sold. I like the low poly model. I think it looks cyber and awesome. So I printed that with the Goop printer, and I positioned things based on measurements and was able to import the magnet mounts that hold the body on and design bodies for that. So I printed these with filament, but I printed the body with the Goop printer, the UV printing, and I made some assumptions, and it looks like that gap for the wheel well is not accurate. There's much less gap in the wheel well in the real thing. Now this might be unsprung, perhaps that's one of the issues, and the one that I have that we just scanned is sprung. But the position, the precise positioning of these wheels, not all that accurate. These are, of course, the BBS style wheels that I put together. It was really fun figuring out how to make these cutout patterns in the wheels. But yeah, these are wheels that I could 3D print. They're for a different type of linkage. They're not the whatever it is. How do they do it in the other ones? I'm trying to remember. It's like just the front wheels are the inner and outer bearings, but I think the rear wheels have some other type of engagement on them. Or do they not? Did they just do the dog bone in? I forget. Anyway, the point is, yeah, that's what these wheels are, the placeholders. So what I want to do is I want to get that mesh in here and sort of overlay the two things. This is a solid body in Fusion, because I wanted Fusion to do the automatic 1 millimeter depth hollowing out of the RC car body. And actually, if you print this in clear filament, it makes the windshield look really weird and cool. It's not exactly a desired effect because the outside of the windshield needs to have those few polygons on it. When it's got a bunch of little triangles, it kind of is distracting from the look of the car. But hey, what's up, Pyro? So anyway, let's compare a 3D scan to what this thing was designed off of. I guess I can just operate in here. I'm not going to save anything, but I can import a mesh. So insert mesh, right? Mesh. Insert the mesh. And we're going to go for my computer, and it's the 52 megabyte file on my desktop. Carscan.stl. Let's see what happens if it's going to be the size of a blimp in here. Spinning car, yeah. We built this tensioner earlier. What the? Why did you put it like this? What in the world? Oh boy, the computer. Oh no, never mind. The computer is not too bad. This is all kinds of off axis. Oh my God. How do I reconcile this thing? I want y'all to be on top of each other. Oh God, the axes are everywhere. Ugh. Looks pretty accurate. It's a car crash. My cars! There's only like 200 of these things. They can't crash into one another. God, that would be a tragedy beyond. And the Monte Carlo was a consumer car. There's way more than 200 of those. But this Abarth version is special. Well, it looks like my printer's pretty accurate. Holy shit. Okay, hold on. This is... It's very hard to get into position. The fact that they're Z-fighting is very encouraging, though. This is pretty crazy that they're actually doing that. And it seems like I'm pretty accurate in terms of wheel positioning. Oh, it looks like the wheels are actually a bit wider than, well, at least the rear wheel is. But that rear wheel didn't scan very well. And maybe this can be moved over just a little bit. Bonk. Ha! That's crazy. So there's the inaccuracy / accuracy of what we did. Now, the positioning of everything is a little bit off. The axes that came in were all messed up, so this needs to be lifted a little bit in the rear. But if I do that, it's going to mess up a bunch of other stuff. So, like, the smoothness of my controls here, these are kind of engineering controls and not just like visual controls. Yeah, I think that's something I can do down here probably. Layout grid, snap grid, incremental move. Yeah, there we go. So that's, oh, but it like snaps out until it gives me the incremental move. And that little snap out is where I need it to be positioned. Jeez, all right, move it all the way like that. Now I can come back and stop snapping. It's snapping to the major axis instead of everything else. Well, I mean, the point still comes across. I mean, we got a pretty good dimensional scan of this thing, and I could probably use that to help reposition where the wheels are supposed to be. This one didn't scan in very well. It still is there, but it seems like maybe the wheels need to be pushed out a little bit from where they are. I could spend a little bit more time trying to kind of position the mesh body to everything else. It's kind of neat that it Z fights so much though. That's pretty cool. The other thing that I want to use this for is to scan the opening on the plastic of the keyboard that I've already modified. The one that we did QMK, Quick Mechanical Keyboard, with a Pico Pi. That one I hastily we tried to put it on the milling machine so that I could cut a nice square. I would have done better if I had just used a knife and just traced the square, or I drilled 4 holes and used just like a little scroll saw or something. That would have been much better. Putting it on the mill was supposed to get me out of the equation so that my square hole would have been, or my rectangular hole would have been perfect. The problem is it's hard to mount thin plastic stuff to the mill. And so as I was cutting it, it was distorting and going all over the place. And so the cuts are bad. They're just really, really bad. So I wasn't able to get a good cut from the keyboard. I have a thing that goes on top of it, and if I do sort of heavily smoked plastic, hopefully the OLED screen will show through that, and it won't show my terrible cut. But using this, I can scan my terrible holes. My scenes are lagging because the computer doesn't have a lot of memory. I can scan my terrible holes, which sounds like not what you guys want. I could scan my holes and make a precise fit thing to kind of cover up my terrible work. Well, it's kind of silly with the springs, but at least I know that if I put it into a closet for a month, it'll still operate. How much tension can I put on this thing in order to get it to... Yeah, it slips very easily. Now, it wouldn't slip very easily if I actually replaced the roller, which I do have rollers that I could replace it with, but I need a gear puller in order to do that. So, I have a gear puller. I just, let's scan something else. Do I have a smaller turntable? No. Here, I'm going to throw out stuff here. So, I mean, working with this thing, it seems like my wheels are in a decent spot. It's hard to kind of get it precise. But I could key off of some facets of the mesh. Oh, I guess it just canceled putting it in general. Yeah, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to close this and not save it. But that's cool. We can scan something and we can compare it to the model that it was produced from, and dimensionally things are relatively accurate. Something as small as this little RC car that I have that fits in the palm of my hand. My little tiny RC car. I need to get a maximum speed off of this thing. The roads are currently covered with salt, but I've got extremely rubbery tires on it. So this would actually be good to go in the cold. But I just haven't gotten out. When I go outside, I walk the dog instead of playing with the RC car, which is an unfortunate tragedy. Dog loves it though. She doesn't really, I don't want to let her chase this RC car because I think it could probably hurt her. I don't want to pull whiskers out with all the internal workings of this thing. But anyway, yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so let's scan something else. I'm going to close Fusion fully. I don't want this program running because it'll use up the limited resources of this computer. It's even on my gaming computer, the scanner had kind of a struggle, and I've got a 5950X and a 6900 XT, so it should be completely it should just be tearing apart stuff like this. And I guess there was a little bit of inaccuracy, like with the meshing and stuff. It made it bloat just a little tiny bit, I think. Okay, so let's just delete the scan. Oh, everything's frozen. All right, we'll wait for you. We're gonna wait. I don't know how much memory this thing is using up on my drive too. That's the thing that's gonna kill this. It'll be like, by the way, you don't have any memory left on your hard drive. Like, what? Because even that little scan that we just did was 50 megabytes. So we're not gonna be saving a lot of stuff today. So let's try the middle finger. That seems pretty appropriate. Then we'll get the scanner over here. I'll give it a little bit of, I'm going to move the wire up. Well, the wire's getting tangled on stuff. That's why it keeps getting pulled over. This is just the tripod that came with it. I'm sure there are better tripods that you could use. And I'm trying to get pretty, like an isometric 45-degree angle. I'm sure there are other angles that are probably more appropriate to scan from. Try to get the mechanism in there. And then we can do one of these. I can just leave this up for a couple hours, huh? just the rotating middle finger for when I go take a bathroom break. I kind of like that concept. No, is Dremel the only rotary tool? No, it's far from even the best rotary tool. Proxon makes a bunch of very good rotary tools. Dremel is the one that cheapened it out and put it in all of the Home Depot, all of the home improvement stores. They are not the OG rotary tool. And in fact, if you're going to be using a rotary tool a lot, the handheld ones are not necessarily all that great. You might want to go with something like one of these motors that you hang on the shop, and then you've got like a wand coming off of it. Dog's going nuts out there. All right, so let's see here. New project. MFer. M finger. M finger. We are small. We are very small. We're not, I haven't used markers yet. I think we're going to go off of geometry. I do want it to be high quality, and I do want to disable the flat base. The question is, what is it going to do with the glass on this thing? So this is a wine stopper from a wine bottle. The wine bottle is just a, I don't know, it looked fancy, so that's why I picked it up, but it had a glass cork in it, which is a piece of silicone rubber and a piece of glass, and so it just plops that into the bottle. Turns out, without the silicone rubber on it, looks a lot like a butt plug, but it also fits into these doll hands. So I want to see if I can scan something this small and how accurate that's going to be. And also it just means we get a lot of seat time for a middle finger on my stream. So all the settings are the same as the RC car. And then we have to reconcile the distance. Now that's going to be a tough thing because I can't exactly get it. Insufficient valid scan data. Please adjust the IR exposure scanning distance to attain more. So here's the thing. This is going to be a fixed distance from our scan object, and I can't quite get it closer. Not with the setup I have, not with the tripod that I have. It probably wants it to be somewhere around here. Yeah, that's about the distance. So how do you think I can accomplish this? I think the object just has to be larger than this middle finger thing, unless I get a different platen for it to be on, which I've got something over here. Let's get a block of wood. Different platen. Who's this? Maybe that one's a little smoother. As smooth as our brains. Well, now it's just scanning the whole thing because it no longer detects the plane. There we are. Why is it swinging so far over to the side? What's going on here? Oh, I see. This is a 3D representation of what it's seeing. Go back to home. Let me do this. Well, that's going to be a little weird, but I guess we should give it the benefit of the doubt. So keeping this view on because we need to actually, I need this light. I need all this light over here so that I can detect stuff. But let me start the scan, and I guess when the hole is facing there, we'll stop it. So ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, scan. That's doing its job. These things are hard to see because there's not a lot of texture on them. Oh. I should do like a brush of the little doll hands, because they kind of blend in with themselves. They're very kind of monochrome, and the plastic is filling in all the gaps, so you don't get the like detail. You can't really even see that there's actually a thumbnail on this thing. Wow, that is getting a very detailed scan of the base. It's crazy. At this speed, the scanner is actually able to staple everything together very nicely. Hopefully nothing jerks around too much. What is that thing? It's a doll hand. Remove the plate. No, we need the plate. The plate's what keeps it from scanning my rotary tool. I'm wondering what it's going to do with that glass base, because it seems to be doing pretty well with everything else. You can see it over here. That's why my computer is so slow. It's missing little bits, like right by the thumb, which it might fill in when it gets the other angles. But so far, it's got a pretty nice idea of where that block of wood is. If I need to 3D model that block of wood for anything, I'll know where to go. This is my favorite part about the stream right here. I really enjoyed doing that part. Messing around with weird little parts. Although, you know what? Now that I've gotten all this stuff out, we should try making it into a tensioner arm. That's going to be relatively easy to do. So we'll work on that in just a second. I just want to finish this scan and have it processing while we lay down the aluminum arm that I built. So at least that aluminum arm can have some kind of purpose, some type of purpose. Maybe I can have it tensioned from below. It'll push up from below, and that way it's out of the way of all this stuff. Why I'm putting so much effort into a simple little tensioner is beyond my own reckoning. But, you know, little mechanical projects like this are a lot of fun. So. Exactly. The slow turntable is a little bit annoying, but it seems to be very, very effective at allowing this thing to kind of catch up with itself. And when I was doing it by hand, when I was moving it by hand, it had a lot of trouble. So the possibility would exist that I'd also get something that would like a hook-shaped arm that could move it like that, and then it would be able to scan everything. That would be pretty cool. Just waiting on this thing. I want to switch scenes because it'll turn off this light here. And I want to give it a good chance to scan everything. It's slowly putting it together. It's like I see. So this is what that shape is. Very interesting. For some reason, I guess because of the infrared point cloud is probably getting into the glass, it's having a lot of trouble around the glass. Everything else is scanning in just fine. It's funny that it can't reconcile that shape. It probably could if it was just doing camera tracking, camera scanning. You know, I should have looked around for tensioners. There were a couple different things that I've taken apart that have had rotary springs on them that would have been really good for that. Oh, well. Hopefully I'll remember next time. All right, we're almost there. We got to get the hole in the palm facing the camera, and then I'll hit stop. What the? Why is it like backing out? That's really weird. What's going on there? That's really strange. It's like backing away. Why is it like backing away? What's going on? Nothing's changed. It's just been rotating in place. But the view is like moving out. Weird. We're almost there. Why is it so weird? Why are you so weird? All right, I think that does it. Let's stop on that. Complete scanning. So yeah, I picked up some stuff on the bench, huh? And I guess there's probably a way that I can like tell it to ignore all this stuff. How can I do that? Let's see. Select it from the side, maybe. Well, how do I even select? There we go. So I can just get rid of the stuff that I don't need. It was shift. When you hit shift, you can select this stuff. You can just delete all the clouds that all the points that we don't want. Anybody else? That's it. It seems to have had a little bit of trouble around that knuckle, huh? Oh, I see. There's just a couple sitting out in free space, so let's get rid of those. Any other weirdness? Now I could get it severed from the entire base. I think maybe we want to do that. Just gives us less stuff that we need to process in the end. Oops. How do I deselect? Control select, deselect. All right, control select to deselect, and then shift select adds to the selection. Delete. There we go. Now we're a little bit more focused on what's in front of us. Yeah. So a 1 million poly block of wood. It's a very accurate scan of the block of wood. I really wish chat could actually update, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do the one-click process on this now. So that's going to eat up all of my computer's computing. Meanwhile, let's work on this tensioner and let's make it way over-engineered. That's going to fall off of that little thing. Way over-engineered tensioner. Let's go. So I'm taking off the spring thing. The spring thing was okay, but it was a little bit weird. And instead, we are going to repurpose the arm that I built for Burn the Subs belt tensioning. Burn the Subs is my big subscriber board. That doesn't work right now. We're going to work on that at some point. I'll get back to it for sure. But Burn the Subs burns the name of subscribers onto a giant wooden board that's on my wall. Currently not in use. Currently it does not function. But when we get back to it, we can do a little bit of work on it and get something that functions really, really well. I've been doing sort of my due diligence in making it a more professional project. So this one has a bearing on it, and it's got two big mounts. Looks like it's the right thing. Use that. Let's see if it's got the right height to it. Well, actually, if it's going from below, but I need to spring it this way, it would need to go up and over to do that. So if I have it up here, I can barely reach. I probably would need to stick out a little bit. Hold on, let's get this thing off of here. This. Well, I really wish my chat window would. I want a 3D scanner, but the amount I'll actually use it makes it a hard purchase. I can justify it because I'm on stream. We're doing it on stream. You know, that's the justification. It was an expensive purchase. I mean, it's something like $300 you got to put aside. But doing it on stream justifies it a little bit more, at least in my mind. And then maybe in the future I'll have a lot more applications for it. Right now, a little bit limited. I've got kind of only a few applications where I can really utilize this thing, but is very useful for the things I want to use it for. Do you need a washer in here? I guess I'll just do that just because. What I do need is a little plastic piece to go in here. Let me see if I can find something. It's really cool content. Yeah, and maybe we can figure something else to do with it. I mean, right now, you know, I think this is worth every penny right now. This right here. A completely accurate represent. This is deceptively good because this has all of the textures on it. This looks deceptively accurate to what this is. That's impressive. I'm impressed with this. I need to turn this into a GIF and send it to Flatulent Gonad so we can make it part of his show. But without the textures, it's still pretty good. I might just send him this STL file. I'm going to do that. I'm going to send him this export as an STL to the desktop. Save that. Oh, mfingy. Save that. I'm sending this to Flatulent Gonad right now. Whether he likes it or not, I have a 50 megabyte limit on Discord because I pay them money because I have a Discord for my channel. So he gets to receive however big this file is. We'll find out soon. Oh God, the little ads on Discord, man. You click hide this and they keep showing up. How do I plus upload a file, desktop, and then it's mfingy.stl. It doesn't say, nobody's told me how big the file is yet. 6 megabytes. There we go. What a stupid scan. I love it. I'm so proud of it. Except for whatever the hell's going on in there. This person should go to a doctor. That's definitely a go to a doctor kind of thing. That shouldn't be like that. But still. Okay. Back to over-engineering a thing. So let's see if I can find the bolt. Whatever happened to the bolt? What happened to the bolt? Where did my nylock go? Oh, there it is. But I should probably have some kind of a washer in there, just a little plastic washer to space that out. So let me find that. I think maybe there's one in here. This is the other roller that I built. This one is very similar. I could use either one. One is longer than the other? No, they're exactly the same length, so I'd have the same problems using this one. That almost just tensions on its own. But do I have a washer in here? No, I don't. I think that one sticks out just a little bit. What I need is something that'll fall in there and contact the bearing on the inside and not the outside. So something like this maybe, this one here. There's a whole class of nylon washer that does this job, but this will also probably be just fine. Yeah, see that's, oh, but that hits the shoulder. About you. Oh, that's probably exactly for this purpose. So if I do that, then this will roll on the bearing. Seems a little taut though. Well, that's one possibility. See if there's anything else in here. This is actually, oh no, not that. Hold on. This one. This is what I'm talking about. This is designed to just hit that inner race of the bearing. Although this one is too big. It's for a different bearing. But what that's designed to do is just give you that little bit of tension on that inner race so that you're not locking your bearing up when you tighten the bolt. I think my only option is that big piece of plastic. Yeah, I think that's my only option. unless I really dig into the hardware and, you know, find something perfect, but that'll take too long. So we'll just use this piece of plastic in there, and hopefully that gives us tension on the bearing instead of on the outside of the roller. Then I put it in loosely and it just twists in there, but oh yeah, chat's not, I don't know if my chat windows are not updating properly, so maybe I can hit refresh on them and it'll work now. Did Creality hook you up? No. Once more, this is funded for my own birthday. This is my, sorry, not birthday, Christmas money. This is Christmas. Merry Christmas to me from my wonderful parents who bought me this. I bought me this for them, for me. Very generous of them, and I love them dearly. So, couple of these, and we're going to make a little tensioner on this thing. But it works pretty well. I mean, we got a pretty decent scan out of it. What's that? Who's this? There's a YouTube channel where he uses them a lot to make car parts. You might be interested. Is that Super Fast Matt? Because that was part of the inspiration of me going and getting these. Because we've tried all this stuff. We've tried all this 3D design, 3D mapping, photogrammetry, and stuff like that. We've explored, and none of it has really worked all that well until it came to the Creality scan. Yeah, this is way too tense. This is way too tense. I might need to 3D print something to do this job. I need something that's going to contact the inner race of the bearing and not the outer race of the bearing. And what's happening is the piece of plastic that I put in there is contacting both parts of the bearing, and it's not allowing it to turn on its own twisty abilities. So that's where those weird little washers come in handy. Let me see if we can find one in another bin. There we go. Oh, Making for Motorsport does it. Okay, the one I was looking at was Super Fast Matt, and he did some work with multiple different scanners in order to scan his sort of salt flat car. Salt flat car. But yeah, I'd love to see the other one just to get tips on how to use the damn thing. This one might be it. That one's a little big though. But this is the sort of thing. Oh, that's a lock washer. Never mind. It's the sort of thing as a lock washer lookalike. Actually, wait. I think I have just the right thing. Hold on. One sec. Wait right there. Wait. Just hold on. Wait, one sec. I think I got just the right thing. These snap rings. You know, you never think you're going to need a snap ring kit until the one time that you send a snap ring into orbit. And then you wish you had. He shows how to go from scan to solid. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just learning myself. We've had some pretty good luck with it so far. I mean, the results are pretty nice. The only thing is that these might get in the way. The little snappy part of the snap ring might get in the way. I have a kit of E-clips somewhere, but that might be just enough space for it to have a proper grip and also allow turning. Ah. Or it's just going to be a different type of washer. Nah, maybe that won't work. Maybe it won't work. Yeah, exactly. The snap ring space program. That's the perfect way of describing it. Yeah, because you eventually are just like, enough is enough. Like, when you have a kit, you just go sproing, and you're just like, all right, I'm going to get another one. I'm just going to get another one of those. Yeah, this is like just barely the size, but I think it might interfere. I really need quite a special piece of hardware to do this. This didn't end up working out. An E-clip might do the job. What I really need is a very narrow washer. It needs to be a very narrow washer. There's some in here, but they're too small. It needs to be just like almost a ring. I mean, almost a lock washer. A lock washer might do the job if I can find one that's the right size. This is tough because it's a very kind of specialized thing in order to enable this thing to spin properly. These larger bearings that are in these rollers are much easier to do that with. This is in fact rolling off of its roller. Maybe we'll just use the big Delrin one, the big dumb Delrin one, because I can do this if I can get something to lift it. Well, that's tough because I don't really have anything that can lift it. Unless I wrap a spring around this and hold onto it down here. Just have a big stupid spring pulling it upwards. But then if it goes too far down, it might snap down. Let's find a big dumb spring and put it from here to here. So where's the spring kit is somewhere around here. I have so many kits. So many kits of things are out right now. Them kits are cheap if you buy them in China. I buy them from Amazon. They're okay. They do all right. Here, we'll put the other tensioner setup away. Try to make a bunch of these, but these were originally for burn the subs, but we don't really need them anymore. They're not really necessary for this. Do I have the right washers in here? No. I've got a lot of these tensioners, a lot of these Delrin rolling tensioners for a wider belt. Almost stands to reason that I should be using them somewhere. I should make a project that uses a lot of belt stuff. A lot of belty things. All right, let's see here. Spring kit over here. I know we're not exactly doing 3D scanning. We're doing some mechanical design, but I didn't expect 3D scanning to take a lot of time. Plus, where do you go from here? I mean, we got the ultimate scan. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? We got the ultimate 3D scan. We don't really need to scan anything else after this. But yeah, it'll prove its usefulness in the time to come. Did he just say, what did he just say? Did he say time to what? What was that? That one will be pretty tight. And then I can get a fastener through there to the wood, and then we can put one up here, and then that'll hold tension upwards. So let's see here. So what I need to do, loosen this lock washer, and then I need to put a washer on it. Oh, this might have been rolling so nice because it's a... Oh no, there's a washer in here. Good. It's just got that one little washer in there. That's all it needs. And then this, I guess, can go through. I guess I don't really need a washer there. It'll scratch the aluminum, but I don't care. I don't care. If this were anodized, I would want to put washers on it just to keep it nice and clean. To be fair, I probably could put washers on it. Well, I want the nylon. Oh, I want the nylon to actually make contact too, because these shoulder bolts are not like specifically for this setup. They are for these rollers, but they're not like I bought them with the rollers in mind. But I probably could have. I keep dropping things. I'm hypoglycemic right now. I'm a little shaky. Where did that go? I heard it make a little tinking noise. There it is. I need like a, I don't know. I need to wear like a bib when I do this. I'm dribbling all over the place, dropping stuff all over the place. Dribbling and dropping. So this has to go to here. I don't know what the kinematics on that are. Or no, that has to go to the far one. And this has to go all the way down to where it actually, it's not gripping the nylon. If it doesn't grip the nylon, that means that this thing can back out. I could put it nylon first, or I could find a shallower nylock. No, it's still going to have the same trouble because it's the same dimensions. Maybe I can put it on the other way around. I need a couple more threads. Son of a... It just falls on the floor just constantly. I could also drill and tap a hole, and then I'd have an entire fastener dedicated to the spring, which is the way it probably should be built. But
We're doubling up on this one. So nylock from the other end, since the threads have already been punched into the nylon. And so the nylon will get a bunch of threads that'll be squished in, followed up by the metal threads. Maybe. If I can actually get this to work before my hands cramp up. Damn it! This thing is so annoying. You need to be at a higher angle. There, that's a little easier. Yeah, there's just not a lot of bolt to go through here. There's only a couple threads on the other side. Finding the threads in the nylon is very difficult too. Come on, man. Just do this for me. Give me this one solid. It should be nylock, right? Well, does it need to be nylock? Can I use just like a normal fastener here? Because this isn't going to be what's twisting. Although it does have potential to, but the bearing is what's moving. This is fixed. Probably should get a nylock just because. All right, let me try the silvery one. I think I almost got it. It felt like I almost got it, but then my thumb started to cramp on it. Come on, man. Work with me a little bit here. Come on, you can do it. That's starting, but it may be off from the threads. We'll see. You have to do the open-ended wrench, and then the hex key, and then my hand turns into a pretzel. Okay, like that. Come on, come on. You can do this. Welcome to my advanced stream where we're doing all kinds of cool scanning stuff, aka messing with springs. Jeez. That seems to be pretty good. Well, this could definitely be at a different angle. Help me out here, buddy. I don't know if it's gotten into the metal at all, but it is definitely clamping down. Good enough for this, I guess. Now I need a couple wood screws. Things like maybe this one, although I kind of want big threads on it because this wood is very cheap. It's very, very cheap wood. I kind of want to have big, gnarly wood screws. So let's find some big, gnarly wood screws that are pointy instead of the sheet metal screws. I can't go too far in, so we've got kind of a couple rather important criteria to meet. I mean, these are huge. That would go way too far into the wood. No, that actually is a good distance. The two of these might do, if I can find another one of these guys. These are actually the screws that I use to burn the subs to the wall. There's a bunch of those holding up, going into pine wood. And I got just a bunch of them left over. I don't even know where they came from. I don't know if they came from a kit of screws or if I took something apart that was held together by them. But they're big, gnarly wood screws that have a lot of big thread on them, so they really grip into that biological foam. And now I can't find a second one. Such is my fate that I cannot find two of these. Oh, is that? That's close. I would accept two of these instead. Those are both Phillips. I could just use two different screws. Maybe that's the way I do it. What's this one? Oh, there we go. Got two of the same. Good. Now there's probably one of a different screw sitting in there. All right, I need a Phillips head, so that's in a different bin. Get that over here. Problem with these big screwdriver kits is you can't find the one that you need. That's good. And actually, this is the type of screw that holds onto it.
So this screw head is, it's got just a little bit of, oh no, it doesn't, never mind. I thought it did. It did before. It seemed like it held onto it. Kind of. Nope. No, don't go on that. Keep dropping things on the floor, chat. You know there's a drop command. Exclamation point drop. I've dropped thousands of things on the floor, and that's my evidence of such. So we're tensioning it from below, and we're lifting up this tensioner with the spring, hopefully. It seems to work. That's not a lot of tension, to be honest. If I want to round it like that, that's a little bit of tension. It's really not a lot. But I would need to come up and around this thing, because that's not going to do it. Okay, problem number 2. Problem number 2 is I need like a offset here in order to hold this up. Alternatively, from above, and then I just attach it somewhere over here. It has to have kind of a little bit of a distance from what we're tensioning on. That's too disruptive. Too disruptive. Unless I take this and I attach it here, and then I can take this and attach it like here with a self-tapper. I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. 1,044 times. There you go. 10-4-4. That's a 10-4, buddy. I got to get it away from the roller, so that's about here. And then I'll put it into the wood. Oh god, it moved. Well, hopefully that's a good place. Okay, let's check that. So if that's there, this is pulling up right there. It's pretty good. Oh, it keeps, what the? Oh, it gripped onto the aluminum because the wood screw is so big. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. Almost don't need 2 screws. This is what I get for being hypoglycemic. I'm shaking all over the place, and it makes all this stuff a little bit more clumsy than it has to be. That's a lot of torque. All right, so that seems to be in a good spot, in spite of how crappily I'm putting this thing together. So, can I use this? This is a blunt head that's not going to actually go in. So either another wood screw, and I probably should use another wood screw just because I need all of that thread to kind of grip. Now I could use this one. I guess if it's the only one, I might as well use it. And bring that all the way out here to where it's going to do like a lot of tension. Yeah, professional. Although it's not a lot of force. It's okay. This is pretty taut. It's just the kinematics are a little weird. Let's just see. I guess that's good enough. Is it actually rolling on the bearing? Because I got a ball bearing over here, and I got a ball bearing over here. Yeah, it's rolling on the bearing. Pretty smooth. It is very close to hitting over here. I didn't get that distance quite right. It isn't hitting though. I don't think. Is it hitting? No, it's not hitting. I can see a little air gap in between the two. A little air gap. This is convoluted, but I like it more because it's convoluted. Yeah, it sort of moves a little bit in every direction, but that's okay. Yeah! Look at that. Beautiful. And I guess if I want more tension, I can replace this with a better spring. That works though. It's a little weird. Nice, nice. I could 3D scan it and then print it. Why isn't it turning? What? Okay. It's not tense enough. There's not enough tension. Son of a bitch. Oh yeah, look at how loose that is. This needs a lot more force in order to do its job. That is unfortunate. All right, so that's messed up. I messed that one up. I screwed it up. I screwed up. I mean, if I put it above and then put the spring going straight down below, that's another way to do it. That means I got to move everything. Move everything, put the spring going directly down into the board, and then having the arm go down like this. That would be the other way to do it, huh? This just isn't getting the job done. Darn it. Darn it, I was so excited. I was so successful in what I was doing. I thought I was doing great. Thought I was doing great. Wasn't doing great. What about one of those springs for the put a rubber grommet under the arm? What, to like give it a like just rubber to wedge it in? Hold on a sec. I got some other springs here from some past projects. Perhaps we can rotaryize it. This is from a shifter project, and it was a very strange setup where you have this spring in the middle. This is a very tensiony spring, though. How can I lock that down to hold this up? I don't know if I can. That'd be nice if I could actually implement that, but no, maybe that doesn't really work out. Although this with a roller on each prong, no, that doesn't really work. Do I have any other screws, spring stuff? Here's a bunch of the other bearing stuff, actually. Also have an air strut. That doesn't really work for this purpose. The air struts were really good for the shifting project because they gave it a feel of like a real shifter, moving a bunch of mechanical stuff. I thought I had like a weird spring. I guess I don't. All right, never mind on that one. Other springs that I have, I think it's just the kinematics behind this not having a lot of like force behind. Like this pull is not that great. It's the mechanical advantage that it's being given is quite high. I could use, well, I can't really use these, but those are pretty taut. Or I can move this back further, but it's already under quite a bit of tension. Yeah, something under there just to push it up. I think it's actually contacting the, no, it's not. It's not hitting the roller, is it? No. Let's just give it more tension. Even though this is really clunky at this point. I need to like start this and then pull the spring over. Let's get it like right here. Back it out. Now this is the tough maneuver here. Oh, the spring got warm. Or the screw got warm from friction. That's the wrong one. Still not. It's so little force. I don't get it. It's just the fact that it's not pulling like directly upwards is what's really working against it. This would have been better as a pull downwards kind of thing, and maybe I just need to do that. Maybe I just need to do that. I need to move this in and then put a spring facing downwards. This would be a little bit more elegant, but I'd need like one of these. Wait, I can wedge one of these in there. Just put this under it like that. It doesn't work. That doesn't work. This needs like a guide in order to do it properly. I've got a 3D printer spring sitting somewhere around here. That's in one of the bins. If I wedge that underneath this, it'll definitely give it enough force, but then it'll pop out and you know, hit me in the eye. So I think I need to come down from above. So we need to reposition all this stuff. Ah, Jesus. Just firing springs out of every orifice. Cool thing about having this, put another tensioner to push the spring up. The you know, the real way to do this is to have two rollers and they're just juxtaposed. Just like that. This would be the way to go, I guess. So making sure that this is in the right position, it needs to be like there. Pretty much just right there. But then it's hitting up against the... See, this roller is a lot larger than it needs to be. Probably need a new spring, so that's going to be tough to do. Where's my wrench? There it is. New spring, who dis? Yeah. Oh, I'm easily amused. Okay. So, who's going to put enough force into this? That's a very light spring. So no. Not you. These ones with lots of spring-a-things in them don't put a lot of force into the thing. This is one of the same size, right? Yeah, same size. If I do use that, no, that's too tall. Too tall. What about this? Well, that's not going to fit around the bolt head. Yeah. One of these, just at its limits. I don't know if that's going to be enough force. Kind of want it to be more spring-a-thingy. Yeah, these are pretty soft. What about one of these? That's going to put a lot of force into it, but I don't think I can get this one to span the distance. Might. This is gonna be kind of tough to set up. This is the nylock that I used. I used this one. So I gotta like bend my hand to get this to mount properly. You know, ideally what I would have is on the end of this, either, well, I mean, if I drilled and tapped another bolt hole, that's probably the best way to do it. But if I wanted to use this one, then having the nylock go all the way down on its threads and then have threads sticking out of the front where I could then fit another bolt, that would probably be the best way, because then I could take it off and adjust the spring and stuff. I guess a separate bolt would probably be the best way to do it, though, so it'd have its own fastener. That's still loose. It needs to be tight. That's actually twisting in there, so bringing this. Really, you're not supposed to be using the nylocks over again as much as I am, but oh well.
Actually, I should put this into position and then screw this in from the other side. That's the wrong way. It is just clunky. We're just doing clunky stuff today. Oh, bother, I love his streams. He does this high level of engineering where everything is planned out and fits perfectly, and then I'm sitting here today going like, well, I guess this is okay. This kind of fits together without exploding. Glad I built this stuff so long ago. This is like, I've been sitting on these parts for years. I guess we'll go into this hole right here. Is this big enough? Yeah, this will do. Don't take any of this out of context. Context is key here today. I can't, everything is moving. It puts a lot of tension on it, but it's also in a position where it's getting very close to hitting everything. But I guess by virtue of the fact that it is rolling, it is not colliding with anybody. And it is holding at least a modicum of tension on this thing. I can stop this pretty easily because of the gear reduction. And because it's slipping. Obviously, you know, the solution to this would be to somehow machine teeth into this thing, into this roller, but we are just using tension. And I guess even like if I had a longer belt, I could run it in such a way that the smooth part of the belt makes contact, but as of right now, the teeth of the belt are making contact with a smooth thing. So it's not really, you know, working out all that well. I might have a roller that I could potentially put in there and use, but it's not all that important that it holds its own. All of this is designed to do is take a little bit of weight and just keep it twisting. When it actually comes to machining, I can break this whole thing down and then move this over to the actual milling machine where I can operate it by hand, obviously. But for spinning a little tiny table, I guess that's all right. I guess you all right. You right. All right, so it is getting to be 5 o'clock. I have a puppy who's waiting to take a walk in the frigid north air, and my glucose level is currently BG reading unavailable. Oh, good. Oh, good. My sensor stopped in the middle of streaming. That's nice. So I need to go do my sensor and everything. I don't know how many hours of glucose data I'm missing. Where do we leave off? What is my glucose? The last one, 166. But things were going a little crazy. So I don't know. The shaking is probably low blood glucose. So I need to go manage myself. When was the last time? Wow, it's been a little while, huh? What time is it right now? It's been 185 minutes. That means that I could have started a new sensor and had it working by now. Great. Maybe I should set it up so that it alerts me a little bit more poignantly when the sensor is done. But anyway, we got a pretty good scan out of things, and I think this turntable will probably work pretty decently for me in the future to scan various things. What we really need to do is get that bevel from the steering wheel. I need to spray it with chalkboard spray, maybe put some of the dots on it, and then put that into the slow spin, and then see if we can get like a good scan of that inner face of the steering wheel. Maybe just keeping it on the wheel is the best way to do it. But so far, I mean, I'm liking the Creality scan. The CR scan seems to be pretty good. My computer has slightly limited resources for doing this while on stream, but yeah. Tasmodo, well, I need to get a node that's going to check in on Heroku and get that glucose level. And I can do that. I plan on doing that eventually. I know people, when we actually first started using AAPS, people had suggestions of what to do with that. But anyway, I'm going to have to quit stream right now. I'll see if anybody's around to kind of shove you guys to.
but I need to immediately address my diabetes before it becomes an issue. So Rob Oz is doing Voices of the Void. Let's see, down here in the project, people, what do we got? Down here in the project, Davies is doing Tokyo Extreme Racer. I don't know. That's a little bit of a a subject change. Bird to dinosaur evolution. I'm paleontologizing. We could do that. But I think right now I'm just going to end stream. So here's the next dialogue. It'll have all the information, including my Discord, which is where I will be hanging out. Let's do END. So there's 19 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds. We can try to look at either test equipment, or I've got a million other things to do. So we will definitely get to something tomorrow. And today, I think this was pretty successful. If I'm going to scan stuff in the future, we've got a nice tension spring. It doesn't rely on rubber bands. It's not a lot of tension. There's not a ton of tension on this thing, but it's enough that this thing will keep rotating when I'm scanning something. And that's this pace, this slow pace, is really important to get a nice detailed model. The models I've gotten so far, I'm pretty impressed with. So in the future, hopefully, we'll have use for this thing. Okay, anyway, that's all I got. I'll catch you guys later.